sports. San Diego's baseball ship has sailed into September. Padres home for 11 games, and tonight at Petco against the Texas Rangers. The Padres opened the 11-game homestand last night with a 7-0 win against the Rangers, supporting Tyson Ross's shutout pitching with a 12-hit attack. Game 2 of the series coming up. A great way to start the 11-game homestand, that 7-0 win, as we welcome you on this evening to baseball with Mark Grant, Dick Enberg. We're finally back together as a team. Missed you.
Good to see you, Professor.
I mean it.
Love you, mean it.
The Padres going to face a tough right-hander tonight. Giovanni Gallardo. He's 4-0 in August.
This is exactly what the Texas Rangers need, the veteran right-hander, as these Texas Rangers try to make the postseason. Now we're going to break down 2014, the home runs, the ERA. The ERA is pretty much the same, but 2015, why? The cut fastball, the sinker, he's a ground ball pitcher. He's only given up those 11 home runs, and in the heat of Texas, that is one tough ballpark to pitch, but he's pitching very well in the state of Texas, and for the Texas Rangers trying to reach the finish line to get into the playoffs.
The Padres, meanwhile, when they're winning, as was the case last night, they're coming through with men on base.
They're really putting a lot of pressure on the opposing pitchers. It was apparent last night, avoiding the strikeout and using the whole field and getting pitches up in the zone and attacking those pitches and also fighting off pitches the other way. Look at that little fillet down the left field line. Perfectly executed, but the Padres with runners in scoring position last night, 6 for 15. That'll give pitchers a big smile. It did for Tyson Ross. It was a great win. There's another one to the opposite field. Just great approaches. Hopefully it continues tonight. It's snowballing, and they're playing good baseball right now, especially that first game of the homestand.
And since the All-Star break, runners in scoring position best in the National League, hitting .292. Well, it's September 1st. Roster expansion. Teams can add up to 15 players. I will have to check on the Padres additions. Chris Button has that list as we move forward here at Petco Park.
Andrew Cashner getting ready to pitch here in Game 2, Padres versus the Rangers. And as you flip the calendar over to September 1st, today's the day that you could see a lot of new faces, but the Padres adding 2 of them. Here's the roster moves that they made today. Marcus Mateo coming off the 15-day disabled list, so they get some extra help in the bullpen with Nick Vincent as well, recalled from El Paso. Also, Will Myers will be leaving. He's playing in Lake Elsinore tonight on a rehab assignment. So this bullpen gets a lot more help as they've been stressed recently. I know that they'll enjoy some extra arms out there. As Game 2 between the Padres and the Rangers, Will Venable back here at Petco Park. You saw the bats heat up for the Padres yesterday. We'll see if it happens in Game 2 when we return on Fox Sports San Diego.
Brought to you by Sony Action Cam. Prove yourself. By Petco. What we feed them matters. By Mercury Insurance. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com today and see how much you could save. And by Jerome's Furniture, where Jerry's price is the lowest price every day. No phony sales, just pure value. Well, on a comfortable baseball night this Tuesday, the Padres with Andrew Cashner take the field. A successful start to the homestand last night with a 7-0 win, and Cashner shoots for his 6th win of the season tonight. Very comfortable 70 degrees at game time. Pleased that you've joined us. Texas again tomorrow, and then those Dodgers are coming in Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here's the Rangers lineup tonight, brought to you by Hyundai, DeShields, Chu, and then Fielder. Fielder having a great season. Beltre as well in cleanup. Odor, then Andrus. Will Venable hits 7th, the ex-Padre, and plays left field. Chris Jimenez behind the plate, and Gallardo doesn't get many chances to swing the bat in the American League, but we know he can hit. In fact, he has 12 career home runs.
And the Conroe Comet from Texas pitching against these Rangers, Andrew Cashner. It's 26th start. He's got to get ahead early and wipe him out early. You know, a pitcher has no control over the foul balls, but if he gets the 2 strikes, 1-2, put him away quickly and see how far Andrew Cashner can go tonight.
Yeah, too many times in his last outing, he would go 0-2, and then it'd be a foul ball, then a ball, then another ball, 2-2, a foul ball, then it's 3-2 again. Went to a lot of full counts after he had jumped in front 2 strikes. Try to get rid of that hitter early on. The Padres start tonight 9.5 behind the Dodgers. The Rangers are 4 back of Houston, but they at the moment are in position for the wild card. They're a half game in front of Minnesota. for the second wild card spot in the American League. Delino DeShields, speedy leadoff hitter, has 9 triples this year, and he'll get things started against Andrew Cashner. Plate umpire Mark Carlson says play ball, and here we go. First pitch, fastball at 95 inside. Carlson calls the balls and strikes with Gibson, Morales, and Holbrook on the bases. Right back with the fastball to even the count. Jeff Bannister, a first-year skipper of the Texas Rangers.
He's doing a fine job. Rangers are playing hard for Bannister.
Foul ball. They've already won more games this year, and we're just starting September, than they did all of last year. They were 67 and 95 a season ago. They've won their 67th game or 68th game already this year.
Well, we talked about the Padres with runners in scoring position after the All-Star break. The offense for the Texas Rangers has gotten a lot better since the All-Star break.
That one hangs high, 2-2. Josh Hamilton recalled from the disabled list, so he's in uniform and available. Rangers have a packed dugout tonight. They've called up several players.
Good pitch.
95 doesn't get the call. 3-2.
Andrew will be able to touch 96, 97 with that fastball. He'll be around 92, 93 to create a little movement. That was a nice pitch down and in.
Just off the plate, so a full count right off the bat. To the left side, Jerko. Long throw in time for the out. A check of the Padres defense brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers. Kemp in right with Jankowski in center and Upton in left. Jerko is playing shortstop tonight with Solarte at third. On the right side, it's Spangenberg and Alonso, and Derek Norris behind the plate.
Well, it's so important, you know this, Dick, to get the Shields out there. 22 stolen bases. He gets on first base. You never know what's going to happen. Need a quick inning here for Andrew Cashner.
Chu, 245, but he hits with power, 16 homers. Prince Fielder hits behind Chu. Well, these games, every game important, of course, to those teams fighting for a playoff spot, and Texas right there. The Astros lead them by 4 in the American League West, but they're in position for a wild card. 1-1. Pat Murphy, since taking over from Bud Black, one game under 500, looks to get to that 33-33 mark tonight. Just off the plate, he isn't missing by much.
Well, if that's where you want to miss. You don't want to miss one ball up into the zone, because then that could spell trouble.
It could have been called a strike.
Yeah.
They just don't call that low pitch very often. There's a line drive, base hit into center field. So Chu has the first hit of the game. A solid single to center.
Nice easy swing by the Texas Ranger right fielder. He knows that Andrew Cashner can help it up there with the velocity. Let's check out the swing. He's all the way back in the box. Front foot is down. Hands are locked and loaded, and taking it right back where it came from. Working inside that baseball nicely.
That brings up Prince Fielder, who's ranked in the top 5 in almost every significant American League category, including batting average, average with runners on base. And he drills one to deep center field. Way back, Jankowski off the top of the wall. A home run for Fielder. Boy, you could barely get the words of praise out of my mouth, and he hits a home run to give the Rangers an early 2-0 lead. Number 18 for Prince Fielder. Is having a banner season.
First pitch hacking on the 95-mile-an-hour fastball. It's a two-seamer up, belt buckle high. That's the kind of pitch that Prince Fielder likes to hack at early. And, you know, Travis Jankowski, that ball wasn't really hit a high trajectory. It was kind of one of those medium balls.
So he was trying to play the carom. I mean, there's no way to go back and try to catch that ball. It got out there so quickly. He was hoping that ball was going to carom back to him.
A little bit higher. It's on the top of the wall. It's only 8 feet, so he could have gone up and maybe snared it. Slider for a strike to Adrian Beltre. Part of the 1-2 punch, Fielder and Beltre in the middle of the Rangers lineup. And when they have Josh Hamilton healthy, pretty tough part of the lineup. Beltre, third toughest man to strike out in the American League. .13 home runs for the veteran. Changeup, nice. And Cashner has his first strikeout.
It's a way to bounce back after the first pitch swinging. Prince Fielder for the home run, getting a punch out for Adrian Beltre on the changeup.
Brings up second baseman Rougned Odor. Odor having a good season at .277. .96 inside. So the Rangers shut out last night a combined 3-hitter, Tyson Ross and Bud Norris, but they need only 3 batters tonight to get a 2-0 lead. One out single by Chu and Fielder's 398-foot home run. Back to the mound under the glove of Cashner. Jerko. Nope, not in time. Odor. The ball slowed down just enough by Cashner so that Jerko had to charge in farther, and that little bit of time made the difference in out and safe.
That is close.
You see no reaction of Alonso to say let's challenge. Now he's looking into the dugout.
Looks like Dave Roberts gives him the okay. Hey, he was safe. Let's go on. Nice barehanded grab, and the accuracy. Boy, that's
bang bang.
Yes, it is.
Elvis Andrus hitting .263, the batter. .2-0, misses with a fastball. The Rangers have won 4 of their last 5 series. Had a good month of August. They were 18-10. High strike, 2-1.
Well, one thing I've noticed already, Mark Carlson behind the plate, calling the high strike. Not a bad thing.
No, that's in the zone.
Yeah.
But a little stingy on the low strikes.
We got an equipment.
Odor wants that wrist wrap. Tends to slide head first.
Just going to check the cookies in the oven. About ready to be done.
Yeah. Smell those chocolate chips, huh?
Probably protecting those fingers on a slide. If you slide correctly, you don't have to wear one of those. I mean, that's I don't think I've ever seen a piece of equipment quite like that.
And protecting a previous injury. 3-1. Might be a playoff first. Alonso coming over to the dugout, and he's got room. But Prince Fielder lights one up. A home run in the first, 2-0. A taste of the action last night as the Padres ranked up 12 hits on their way to a 7-0 win. And here's our lineup tonight, brought to you by Toyota. Solarte, Alonso, Kemp, Upton, Jerko, and Norris. Spanshenberg, Cashner hits 8th, and then Jankowski against the 29-year-old right-hander Giovanni Gallardo. Solarte leads it off and takes strike one. As Mark pointed out in the pregame show, Gallardo, a ground ball pitcher. And that's reflected in the fact that he's allowed only 11 home runs all season. Ground ball right at the second baseman, Odor. One away.
Well, let's look a little deeper into Giovanni Gallardo, the veteran right-hander making his 27th start. Fastball, slider, curveball change. He will throw a lot of cutters, and he'll throw sliders as well. He tries to keep the ball away, and he works slowly. Moves very slowly, deliberately on that mound. He's having a good year for the Texas Rangers, trying to help him get into the postseason. 28th start of the year for Gallardo.
Here's Yonder Alonso. His average up to 280. He's had a nice little run here the last 3 games, 7 for 14, scoring 5 runs. Matt Kemp to follow.
And that scouting report brought to you by Tough Shed. Get a tough shed. Don't get a weak shed. Get a tough shed.
You got it right, partner. 89 on the fastball, 2-0. Cole Hamels. We're going to see the San Diego native tomorrow night. New uniform.
A couple of good pitchers here. Derek Holland pitched well the other night. Cole Hamels.
At the knee is 2-1. That's a pitch he didn't give Andrew Cashner. So some barking going on down behind home plate.
Yeah, Andrew wasn't getting the low call in the top half of the first.
That's the same pitch that he called a ball. And that was actually in the strike zone. 3-1, so it evens out.
And a hitter's count for Yonder Alonso. Nice numbers against Gallardo.
And the count full. Matt Kemp waits his turn. Against Gallardo, Mexican born. Family moved to Texas. He went to high school in Fort Worth. And is one of 4 Mexican born to win 100 games in the big leagues. His last win was his 100th. And of course that list is led by Fernando Valenzuela, who won 173 games, most with the Dodgers. Came over from Milwaukee for 3 players in a trade before the season. Corey Knebel, we saw him pitch in Milwaukee. Another right-hander, Marcus Diplin, and an infielder, Luis Sardenas.
Yeah, the Brewers got some good arms in that deal.
Another foul. The count remains full.
Well, did you see that Fox Tracks brought to you by Honda? Gallardo working the corners, working down, almost like a U, almost. Staying out of the heart of the plate in the U. Hey, how about the U for Yonder Alonso?
Yeah, he went to the U.
Hope he comes through here in this at-bat, battling.
And he drills that one to right center field. That's up the gap. Trying to cut it off is DeShields. Bobbles it, but Alonso's content with the double anyway. And the Padres trying to strike back. Solid double. Good at bat for Yonder Alonso.
Hey, he fouled off a couple of good pitches. Gallardo staying out of the zone, and then 3-2. He comes right after him with a fastball. Yonder Alonso is all elevated. And you can see where DeShields was playing to go the other way. He beats the shift. Stand-up double for the Hurricane.
Had some hot sauce on it right at our Cholula sign.
Yeah.
Matt Kemp then, who leads the Padres and is one of the National League leaders in RBIs with 81, has a chance early tonight. 91 strike. Justin Upton will follow. Be good to get a run back here after the Fielder 2-run homer in the top of this first inning. That timeout called by Jimenez, the catcher.
That's exactly what we were talking about, Dick, in the pregame show. Runners in scoring position for San Diego.
6 for 15 last night.
And Gallardo's not going to light up any radar guns. He's going to rely on location, movement. That's why he has to hit the corners.
4-4 lifetime against the Padres. In the dirt, 2-1. The Red Sox, since the All-Star break, hitting .306 with runners in scoring position. The Padres leading the National League at .292. The Rangers having a good season as well. Second half.
Stay hot. The opposing pitchers know those numbers. They go over the scouting reports, and that's going to make that man smile. Mark Kotsay, the hitting coach for the Padres, coming through big time with runners in scoring position.
Low again.
And you know what else I've noticed, Dick, is that in positions like this for Matt Kemp, he's been a little bit more patient. Hey, pass it on to the next guy. It's Justin Upton on deck, for crying out loud. Rather than swinging at a bad pitch, trying to drive in that run, leave it up to Justin Upton and possibly Jed Jerko.
Clips that one foul. And a full count. He went 3-2 on Alonso, and Alonso doubled.
Get that pitch count up.
College night and Naval Academy night tomorrow. Final game of the series. Just gets a piece of that to stay alive. In the 3-game series in Texas just before the All-Star break, all 3 games were 1-run decisions, and the Padres took 2 out of 3. So with their win last night, they've won the last 3 against Texas. Sharply hit, but right to the third baseman Beltre, across for the out. Check the Rangers defense. They set up this way behind Gallardo. Will Venable in left field with the Shields patrolling center and Chu in right. Around the horn, Beltre, Andrus, Odor, and Fielder. Jimenez behind the plate for Gallardo.
I mentioned it last night, but out of the lineup because the pitcher hitting Mitch Moreland. I mean, here's a guy who's hitting the ball extremely well. Mitch Moreland with 18 home runs, driven in 67, but Prince Fielder plays first base tonight. So his bat stays in the lineup.
Justin Upton, a lot of home runs lately. It's almost been extra base hit or nothing for Upton. Takes strike 1. Chance to pick up his 73rd RBI. Cashner down a 2-run homer early.
Let's get one for the kid, at least, in this inning.
0-2.
Colby Lewis last night, he really pitched Upton away. Slider, fastballs away. Gallardo quickly had 0-2. Good pinpoint control.
Alonso at second. 2 gone. Could have been called a strike. That ball hit hard, but right at the center fielder to Shields, and he's able to make the catch. Boy, a couple of hard hit balls. Kemp and Upton drilled the baseball, but right to the gloves. 2-0 Texas. Honda dealers.
Okay, here we go. Try to win game 2 after last night's victory. Double digits in the hit column. Last night, 12 hits, 7 runs. And the eyes of Texas are upon Cashner. Yeah, he's from Texas, pitching against these Rangers at home in Petco. Score some runs for the kid and hopefully walking away with a W, because last time out, Dick, it's one of those outings to where as a starter you can't wait to get back out there. 5 2/3 through 121 pitches.
Will Venable comes back to Petco last night. First game in a Ranger uniform. Went 0 for 2. A walk, and he struck out a couple of times. He is 6 for 22 as a Ranger. 2-1. That's in there at 94.
That's one of those pitches where you can get Will Venable down and in. We saw when he was with the Padres, and hey, he gets around quickly. We saw him every night. Andrew trying to go down and in with either that slider or cut fastball. There's a happy customer. Popcorn in one hand and a baseball in the other. Wearing his Padre jersey, you bet.
Yeah. Strike 3 called. Venable caught looking. Second strikeout for Cashner. That'll bring up catcher Chris Jimenez.
Located fastball. We talk about it all the time, and Will Venable just watches it go by right on the outside corner. That's the Fox Sports San Diego drone piloted by Michael Odino. Great shot right there by your director. Best in the business, as far as he knows.
If you read his bio, it says it right in there. One and one. That kicks foul.
Well, I talked to the Hall of Fame broadcaster Eric Nadel, radio voice for the Texas Rangers, another Hall of Famer in our midst. Their professor, along with you, and
good guy.
I said, hey, well, tell me about Jimenez. He goes, no, it's Jimenez. And I said, oh, really? Because of the spelling of his last name.
Right.
And so Eric, doing all the games for Texas for many, many years, told me it was Jimenez.
Nice one hopper back to Cashner. The underhand flip for the second out. That'll bring up the pitcher Gallardo. No automatic out. He. Only 2 at bats because of the DH in the American League, but you can see even more home runs than Madison Bumgarner. That's quite a pitching matchup in Los Angeles tonight, huh? Bumgarner for the Giants, Greinke for the Dodgers. That means based on the rotation, we'll see Greinke on Sunday.
You know, with that matchup, you're expecting a lot of quick innings.
And we'll keep an eye on that score. No score in the second. Giants are almost in a position in that 3-game series. They need to win one of these games. They lost last night in extra innings on Adrian Gonzalez home run. So the Dodgers now lead by 4.5.
You see Andrew not messing around with Gallardo. A slider down and away. He knows he can swing that shillelagh.
It's in there, strike 3. Couple of strikeouts for Cashner in the 1-2-3 second.
Great job of kind of teaching me that trait. You know, I was never a pinch hitter in my life really before this, so they've done a great job kind of showing me how to get a routine going during the game, to go down and take my swings and stay loose, and, you know, watch video to see the pitchers, and then the rest of it is just watching these guys, you know, watching Yo, watching Soley hitting and stuff. I'm going to get a chance to see what, you know, that team's trying to do to us and, you know, do to our lefties, and I got to take that and just go with it.
That is Brett Wallace talking about his success as a pinch hitter. He's second in baseball behind Jeff Francoeur in batting average as a pinch hitter, along with RBIs. I talked to him yesterday. He said he started that routine with Mark Kotsay really a couple weeks ago and has found a rhythm. I also asked him, you ask around baseball and people say, hey, pinch hitting's the hardest position there is. And he said, I don't agree with that because I go up there once every now and again. Guys like Matt Kemp and Justin Upton, they're expected to perform every single at bat, every single at night. So he doesn't quite feel the pressure that maybe some other guys do. Maybe that's why he hits so well.
He's certainly done a great job. Thank you, Chris.
And also, when a pinch hitter, usually you're coming in facing a great setup guy or a closer. That makes it even tougher for pinch hitters off the bench. So job well done so far by Brett Wallace.
So he was talking about Yo, meaning Yonder Alonso. And Solarte, the left-handed hitters, studying them. Well, pretty good pitch there at 90, 2-2. So it's Jerko, Norris, and Spangenberg for the Padres in the second. Protecting, pitch a little off the corner. I love that shot down on the pitching mound. It's the center circle. It's almost as if it's that pitcher in a featured position, which of course he is.
Look at Gallardo going towards the third base side of that pitcher's plate.
Just misses again. 3-2 to Jerko.
Now, most pitchers throw across their body as Derek Norris waits on deck. Looks like Gallardo kind of opens up. See where his foot is on the third base side of the rubber there, and look where he lands. So he's actually opening up those hips rather than throwing across his body.
Well, tomorrow night we'll be on the air at 6:30 here in Fox Sports San Diego, and you folks might want to come out and enjoy a ball game here as we start September. Ian Kennedy for the Padres. You'll get a chance to see the stylish and successful lefty Cole Hamels, who grew up here in San Diego. Acquired from Philadelphia. High chopper to the shortstop Andrus. One away. Well, time now for our Arco top tier profile. Speaking of Brett Wallace, as a pinch hitter this year, hitting .375 with a couple of home runs and 9 runs batted in, including a RBI double last night.
And Brett Wallace, he swings early if he gets that fastball. How many times have we seen him hit one a country mile? Oh, I love that. He nearly went upper tank here at Petco. He went 3/4 of the way up the bleachers.
Yeah, that's one of the longest hit to right field all year. Derek Norris steps up. 13 homers, 55 runs batted in. Third on the club in RBIs. Takes a strike. Well, we'll try to get a report from Lake Elsinore as Will Myers makes a rehab start with the Storm tonight. Ground ball again. This one sharply, but right to Andrus. 2 away.
Derek Norris picking him up and putting him down that first base line on the routine grounder is short. He's going to leave it all out there on the diamond, that's for sure.
With 2 away, second baseman Corey Spangenberg was 2 for 4 last night with an RBI. Beltre, respecting his bunting talent, in on the edge of the grass. Curveball hangs high, ball 1. Changeup, 2-0.
Oh, look at that. That kid could sleep in that glove.
Wow, that is a major league glove right there.
He's got it on the wrong hand. Other hand there, kiddo. That's a good thing, though. He's a lefty. He's got the right-handed on the opposite hand. Love it. Having fun. That's what it's all about.
2-1.
There you go. Now he's got it on the right hand.
And that glove is so heavy, he probably needs to keep changing hands.
Yeah.
No, I guess not. Only thinking. 2-2. Back to Brett Wallace and the pinch hitting talent. The Padres are right up there among the league leaders. In fact, they have 47 pinch hits this year. Milwaukee and Philadelphia 48 to lead the National League. So Pat Murphy getting good production off his bench. Late swing by Spanssenberg. Stays alive.
You know, speaking of the pinch hitting theme we're talking about, nowadays with these ballparks, they've got cages just off to where the dugout is. They go get hot, they break a sweat, have somebody throw to them before they step in that batter's box. Back in the day, that wasn't the case.
Right. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Gallardo has his first strikeout. A 1-2-3 inning for the Texas right-hander. 2-0 Texas as we go to the third, and we're going to see Prince Fielder again. 2-run homer his first time up.
And a nice recognition for 25-year-old Poway native Alex Dickerson. He was named the Pacific Coast League Rookie of the Year. Really a fantastic year for him. His batting average .309. His home runs 12. He is second for the Chihuahuas in home runs and third in the entire league in runs scored with 87 of them this year. So congratulations to the Poway native.
All right, Poway and Indiana University. Dickerson, who had a cup of coffee with the big club during the season, got his first major league hit. And El Paso and Las Vegas in a dogfight in their division of the PCL. Only a half game separating them with a week's play left before the playoffs.
That's exciting for both those teams, and congratulations to Alex. You know, first year in the PCL, you're getting young rookie pitchers coming up. You're getting veteran pitchers down in AAA, so there's something to be said for that.
Three and one to the leadoff hitter to Shields with Chu and Fielder to follow. That's in there. That El Paso Las Vegas series, second game is tonight in Las Vegas. Last night, El Paso scored 3 in the 9th to win the game, to pull within a half of first place. That's a looper to right, and that's falling for a base hit. DeShields might have broken his bat on that single.
Well, he really hit the tar out of that one. You can hear that snappy all the way up here to the booth. It's going to happen sometimes when you got movement, especially on a fastball like Andrew Cashner.
And you got to keep your eyes on DeShields. He's 5th in the American League in stolen bases, 22.
Take another look. It's a two-seamer. Boy, that ball has a lot of movement. Actually down the heart of the plate, but it moves so much down near the label of DeShields and breaks that bat.
Chu lined a single to center his first time and then scored on Fielder's home run. Ooh, close. Fourth hit for the Rangers.
Hey, for a big kid, we know Andrew Cashner is quite an athlete. Quick feet, quick throw to first base. He can cover his position with the best of them. He throws accurately to the bases.
On the inside corner. Norris behind the plate, leading the majors in throwing out runners. He's got 35 caught stealing.
Yeah, that comes into play as well for DeShields. And Cashner going with the backdoor slider there nicely for the called strike. Fastball away. If he goes, I got a good chance of throwing him out if he goes. No. Nice pick.
Texas chasing Houston in the American League West, trailing by 4. Houston is in a tie game late tonight.
I am the Walrus. 2-2 to Chu.
Houston hosting Seattle. They're 5-5 in the 7th.
It's like the four-corner stall, isn't it, Professor?
Something like that, yeah. Well, they respect the steal talent of DeShields. Cashner pitching a game to Alonso.
Chu's only grounded into 6 double plays this year.
Right center field, and that's up the alley. No one going to catch it all the way to the wall. With his speed, DeShields can score easily, and pulling up at second is Chu. It's 3-0 Texas. Shin-Soo Choo, a line drive single and a line double. You hear some of the Texas fans chanting Choo.
Well, in that first inning, remember the location of the fastball to Prince Fielder. This was a pitch that didn't hit the location Andrew wanted to Shin-Soo Choo for the double. And with Fielder coming up, it was the first pitch. Watch the glove of Derek Norris. He wants a two-seamer down and away. And the red tracing is where it ends up. Over the heart of the plate. And Prince Fielder, first pitch swinging on the 95-mile-an-hour fastball for the home run.
So Cashner starts in with a breaking ball for a strike. These Rangers appear to have their hitting clothes on tonight. Only 3 hits last night. 3 runs, 5 hits already tonight. Thing about Fielder, he doesn't strike out for a big man the way he swings. He struck out only 60 times.
Yeah, good bat control. You bet.
Bluff throw by Norris. Well, they acquired Fielder last year, as you recall, from the Tigers in a deal for Ian Kinsler. Kinsler going to Detroit. And then in early May, he played only to May 16th and then had that neck injury and surgery. So he batted only .247, 3 home runs. He's come back this year healthy. Cashner gives way. Fielder doesn't run well, so despite the bobble, the Padres get the out. But it serves as a sacrifice, getting Chu over to third with 1 out for Adrian Beltre.
And the one thing I focused on that play, they didn't go over to spring training every single day. Andrew Cashner did the right thing. As a pitcher, you try to get to that baseball. If you don't get to it, you just continue on the first base. It's exactly what Andrew did. Played it perfectly.
And that's in the back of your mind. You've been trained to do exactly that. If you can get the ball fine, he could have gone to himself unassisted. Couldn't quite get there. But he covered the bag, and Alonso gave him the toss. Infield in. First pitch strike to Beltre. Struck out swinging the first time. Right field. Here comes Kemp. Tagging is Chu, and he does not come home. And a good thing he didn't, because that would have been a goner. Perfect throw by Kemp on 1 hop to the catcher Norris.
We are seeing a clinic here in San Diego. In the top of the third, Andrew Cashner covering first base. Watch Matt Kemp. Plays it perfectly. Momentum towards home plate. Come up on top. A 1-hopper to your catcher. Not on my watch. Good pitch. And if you're sitting behind home plate, it's a great way to see that throw. Nicely done.
Rougned Odor, infield hit up the middle the first time. Pitch in the dirt. Ball 1. 3-0 Rangers, and Cashner trying to check them here on the 3 count. Second half, Odor's bat has come to life. Odor, one of the many talented players from Venezuela. Only 21 years old. Maracaibo.
Well, we saw the throw from Matt Kemp. How about a little PFP? Watch Andrew Cashner. Okay, pitchers out there. Once the ball leaves your hand, you're a fielder. He tries to get to this little chopper. Does he get to it? No. So continue on to first base. You're now a first baseman. And the play is complete. Nicely done. You can always be somewhere to help your team.
Foul back close to us.
I'm surprised that Prince Fielder didn't fall down in the batter's box acting like that ball hit him in the knee or in the foot.
No, he's got to go to the Bryce Harper School of
action.
Action. Yeah, he's very good. He's up for an Academy Award. Fly ball left field, up in a long run to the foul line, calls off the shortstop, makes the catch. And the Rangers will have to settle for 1, but they lead 3-0. Jankowski and the leadoff man Solarte against Giovanni Gallardo. His last 4 starts, 3-0, 1.21 ERA. He was 4-0 in August, so he is on his game.
Very few walks. He's kept the ball in the ball yard during those starts. No home runs, fewer hits on innings pitched. He's got it going.
Cashner has 5 hits, 49 trips. Holds back and takes a strike.
How about the big fella showing bunt there? Trying to place a bunt down, utilize that speed that he has.
Beltre moving forward on the pitch, and he tried it again, and he's out by a half step.
Nice try, Andrew.
He just could have rolled it another 3 feet toward the mound. He'd have had a base hit.
Now, from a catcher's standpoint, you look at that bunt, you look at that play, you're going to get him by 2 or 3 steps, right? But then you look at Andrew Cashner and his speed. My goodness, he gets down that line quickly. There's the bunt. Now it's a race to the bag. Jimenez has to be quick, gets it by a half step.
Brings up Jankowski. The rookie is 7 for 28, 250 average. Had his first big league extra base hit last night, a triple. Also a single. We mentioned earlier he does not walk many in this spring in August. Over the season he's been generous with the free passes. That's a strike. 3-1. Left field slicing into foul territory, a long run, and the catch made by Beltre. Oh, he's so clever with the glove. He made that tough play look easy with that basket catch.
Just before he caught that ball, he twists and shows Texas to the infield on the basket catch. His name and number were to the infield.
So 2 out, and Solarte the hitter. He bounced to second his first time. Padres just 1 hit so far. That was the double by Alonso to right center, first inning. And Kemp and Upton followed. Hit the ball hard, but right at a glove. Brett Wallace is in the on deck circle. Alonso is due to hit next.
I don't remember seeing anything regarding Yonder Alonso. Have to wait and see.
Chris Budden on the case and see what happened to the starting first baseman Alonso. Changeup misses. 1-1. He in the dirt. 2-1. You know, Alonso's double, he didn't have to slide. He just pulled up into second base on the hit itself. I can't recall any problem. He must have been in the field this last inning. Two and one. And that's a base hit to right field over the leaping Odor. 2-out single for Solarte. And here is Brett Wallace. Another successful pinch hit last night.
Well, he fought that one off nicely. Usually Brett Wallace is a pull guy. We've seen him pull the right field with some authority. Hey, watch out here for Yovani Gallardo. If he throws a first pitch fastball, Brett Wallace is he's got to be hunting that fastball first pitch if he gets it.
Yeah, there's going to be a meeting at the mound. They're going to talk over just how they want to pitch to him.
Yeah, and I think that might be one of the things that Mike Maddox, pitching coach, is talking to Gallardo. Hey, this guy's aggressive early in the count with the fastball. You might see something off speed here, first pitch.
Yeah, and brother Greg Maddox in the dugout with the Rangers as well. He's a consultant with the team. And could he pitch? First fastball is high. Two and 0. 51 pitches now. We're in the third inning, 2 out.
So first pitch fastball elevated, off speed, and you see the breakdown for Gallardo. See if he pitches backwards here or tries to locate a fastball.
Ripped into right field. Boy, Wallace continues his torrid hitting. Solid single to right. 2 on, 2 out to Matt Kemp.
Well, the only bad thing about that at bat is that he doesn't elevate this ball. If he elevates that ball, that's up about halfway into right field. Some serious top hand, great extension. Get locked and loaded, big boy, and go to hacking.
Odor, that ball hit so hard he didn't have a lot of time to get to the ball.
It was a vapor trail.
Yeah, he was shaded over into the hole for him to pull. So Solarte moves to second. Wallace at first, and the tying run at the plate, Matt Kemp. Hit the ball hard the first time, but to the third baseman, Beltre.
Well, shallow in right field is Chu, so if Matt Kemp can get something away and shoot it to right center field with the Shields on the shortstop side of second base, that's 2 runs.
In the dirt, gets away. That'll move the runners up. Solarte to third. Wallace to second on the wild pitch. Now a single can get 2 home.
Just off the heel of the glove of Jimenez. Takes a Padre bounce.
Ball appeared to hit home plate. Takes a little different skid when it hits cleanly on the plate. So 2 men in scoring position for Kemp. Cleanup hitter Upton on deck.
This is where a pitcher maybe try a little easier. Instead of trying to throw the ball through a brick wall, Gallardo might change some speeds here to get Kemp out in front.
Line drive, base hit to left center field. 2 runs will score. Kemp on his way to second base. Going to be close. He's in there. A 2-run double for Kemp. Cuts the lead to 3-2.
I tell you what, I think Matt Kemp, I hope Matt Kemp, I should say, thinks that this is August 32nd because he hit well in the month of August. That is some clutch hitting right there by the Padre right fielder.
All with 2 outs. Solarte and Wallace with singles. Kemp drives him home with a double. He represents the tying run. Here's Justin Upton. He lined hard to the center field his first time.
26 games in August for Matt Kemp, hitting .304. He is keeping it alive here in September.
That makes 21 straight games that he's reached base safely. The longest string in the majors. Ball in the dirt, Upton.
And that's a good sign for Matt Kemp. If it's not right center field, he got a pitch. He could drive to left center field. That's good hitting.
'82nd and 83rd runs batted in on the year for Matt Kemp. That misses, at least in the eyes of umpire Mark Carlson. Tough on that low pitch.
The outfielders for the Padres producing big time. Look at that. Most RBIs. Padres at 218. Placing are the Diamondbacks with 207.
Boy, that's a 55-footer. First base open, 3-0. Kemp with the 2 RBIs, 83. He's 4th in the National League. Goldschmidt, Arenado, McCutchen with 85. Kemp with 83. Is this a pitch around? Jed Jerko on deck. 60th pitch of the game from Gallardo. Slider on the outside corner. Ball 4. I had the feeling Gallardo would much rather pitch to Jerko than Upton. So 2 on, 2 out. Jerko grounded to short his first time. I like that SD logo, kind of a rainbow feeling, you know. Maybe this is a rainbow inning.
Yeah, Pride Night here in San Diego. Gotta love it. A big league ball game. Watching the Pods try to beat up on the Rangers.
Two on, 2 out, 2 in. And a strike. 3-2 Texas.
You see the logos there for Texas and San Diego on Pride Night.
They don't miss a beat, that scoreboard crew. Great job.
Oh, Matt Coy and the boys and gals, great job.
You know, in spring training when Will Ferrell was there, we had a great time, and he played every position. It was all around the Cactus League, and finished the 9th inning as a Padres outfielder. And then he did a documentary show on his experience. On Saturday night after the game, they're going to show the documentary on the big screen here with Will Ferrell present. How about that?
That's great. That's a 2-for-1 deal, huh?
Yeah, that's going to be on that beautiful screen.
Yep.
0-2. Inside to Jerko. So Saturday night against the Dodgers, along with the great baseball game, stay afterwards, and movie time on the big screen at Petco with Will Ferrell. You know there's going to be a lot of chuckles in that one. He just missed.
He had a pitch to drive to the opposite field as a hanging breaking ball. Jed working underneath it just a little bit too much there. Well, let's take another look. Hanging breaking ball and the front side. The hips open up just a little bit too early.
Jimenez goes out to talk to Gallardo. Hey, come on. Don't throw anything in there. Long inning. 28 pitches for Gallardo. Started innocently. Kastner out trying to bunt. Jankowski fouled out. Then singles by Solarte and Wallace coming off the bench. 2-run double Kemp. Walk to Upton. Now 1-2. Inside to Jerko. Tying run Kemp. Go ahead score Upton. 2 outs, they'll be flying. '30th pitch of the inning. Ground ball toward the hole. Andrus long throw to first in time for the out. That's the Padres with 2 away, able to rally. A couple of singles and a double by Kemp, and the game tightens up 3-2. Texas. And in the 9th inning, Ryan Goings of Toronto. Goings gone. And the Blue Jays a walk-off 5-3 win against the Indians. Does Toronto ever lose? Wow. In the 10th inning, the 2-run homer. Here's our National University standings in the AL East. Toronto that had that fantastic month of August in the lead. We'll go back to that standings. New York, a game and a half back, and then Tampa, Baltimore, and Boston. What a lineup. The Blue Jays, you get through all those home run hitters, and then Goings comes up and beats you. 3-2 Texas here at Petco. Top of the 4th. Andrus, Venable, and Jimenez to hit against Andrew Kastner. Padres back in the game. 3-2. Mark Sweeney joins us along with Mark Grant. Always great to have him with us as Brett Wallace takes over for Alonso. Still no word as why Alonso abruptly left the lineup.
Hey, nice job on the interview, Mark Sweeney, with Brett Wallace before the game. And what do you know? He's in the game and he's paying dividends.
Well, he's still raking, and really a great approach.
Sharply hit, but 2 hops to Jerko. 1 away. That'll bring up Will Venable.
You know, talking to Brett today on our pregame show, and I loved what he was talking about. He talked about preparation. That's such a huge key when you're pinch hitting. You're doing your job and settling into that role and accepting it. Because I said earlier today when people were talking about that role to me, what you have to fight is so many people say, hey, you should be playing every day. You should be getting at bats. You should do this. And they feed you those excuses. Well, you have to accept it and just do your job. And I think you look at what Brett does. He's in position right now to do damage. He's very confident. You can see he's getting a little bit of luck last night with a double, staying inside it. But he is producing at a big level and a huge weapon.
And another thing, I think, I look at pinch hitting as like a closer or a reliever. Would it be fair to say, Mark Sweeney, that
in order to be a successful pinch hitter, you've got to learn how to turn the page.
Yes.
Because if you have a bad at bat, guess what? You got to forget about it, and not carry it into your next one. Like a reliever, the next day you have a bad inning, you got to turn the page, forget about it.
Yeah, Mud and Dick, a lot of lonely nights staring at walls, saying, "Why did I take that pitch? Why did I do this?" And it was only one at bat. But the next day, you had to again trust your process and go in and prepare and get ready for situations just like this.
The psychology of it all for a hitter that goes 0 for 4, wears the collar, but he gets the next night, he gets 4 more chances to get a base hit. You only get that one turn, it's a little different.
Yeah, and it's not excuse driven. I mean, you know your role, you know where you're at. I spent a lot of years in the big leagues because I could do that, but I lengthened my career because I could do that. And I don't look at it as, man, I can't believe I didn't get years where I got to play. Brett Wallace is looking for an opportunity. Signed here because he knew Pat Murphy was in the organization and he had familiarity, but he also knew there was an opportunity in the National League.
Will Venable caught looking the first time, and on a 3-2 pitch goes down looking again. 4th strikeout for Cashner.
Looked like that two-seamer into the lefty. I mean, the action of Will Venable tells you it all. He offers that, tries to offer it, and then he gives up on it, and that two-seamer comes back and hits the inside corner.
Norris made sure that ball continued over the plate on the catch. 2 away. Chris Jimenez, the catcher, tapped to the mound his first time.
Norris also did a nice job of framing that last pitch.
So as you grew up as a pinch hitter, major league pinch hitter, who helped you? Who mentored you and got you thinking in the right manner?
Well, first, my dad got me into that mode of take every opportunity that you would get and capitalize on it. We all know, Mark, when you get a major league uniform put in front of you, you have to figure out a way of staying in the big leagues.
Solarte almost lost that in the lights. That was so high on the bounce. 1-2-3 goes Cashner's work in the 4th. Bottom of the 4th, the Padres trailed by 1.
Three to 2 in the bottom of the 4th. Will Myers is in Lake Elsinore beginning his rehab assignment dealing with that sore left wrist. So far today, single in his first at bat, went 1 for 3 with a walk, playing center field. And talking to Pat Murphy, he is going to play some center field and some first base, but primarily he will be out in center. Also getting word from the Padres PR staff that Yonder Alonso has left the game with some lower back tightness. So we will get some more information for you guys on Padres Live, the post-game show.
You know what I'm wondering, Dick? It just occurred to me. Remember that slide last night in the home plate? That was a very awkward slide.
It was.
And I'm not saying that's it, but I'm just trying to think it back to certain actions that Yonder Alonso had. So thank you, Chris, for that report.
All right, the Padres trailing 3-2. Norris leads it off here in the 4th and takes a strike. So Will Myers 1 for 3 in his rehab assignment up in Lake Elsinore. We're also watching that El Paso Las Vegas game just underway.
How about the Storm batting around in that first inning? Will Myers getting 2 at-bats.
Yeah.
Getting some offense.
That's good when you're on a rehab assignment, getting a couple at-bats the first.
You know what I love, guys, in like spring training? If a guy, big leaguer, goes down to the minor leagues, he'll go from, remember Chase Headley when you went from field to field to field? He just, after one at-bat, he went to the next field. Okay, I'm hitting.
And you always felt bad because you were taking at-bats from everybody else.
Line drive, but at the right fielder Chu didn't have to move. Padres have hit some balls very hard on a line, but right to a Ranger glove.
Well, you got to like that approach from Derek Norris, going the other way, executing his plan. You know Gallardo's going to pitch away, and you have to take that approach. It's a solid line drive.
Yeah, a lot of pitches have been away, Mark. So take a look at the glove of Jimenez, and that pitch comes back a little bit on the outer third, but Derek put a good swing on it. Nothing you can do there.
Went out to Spanchenberg, struck out swinging his first time, the only Gallardo strikeout tonight. Cashner to follow. Rangers got 2 in the first on 2 single. Fielder's 18th homer of the year. Another in the third on an RBI double by Chu. Padres getting 2 back in the third on the 2-run double from Matt Kemp.
You got to be careful here with Corey Spangenberg. You almost want to take this bunt with you because Adrian Beltre, the third baseman, is so adept at coming in and making that play on the run. Very accurate thrower.
And
he is on the grass.
Fielder is deep at first, so you drag one is a lot more probable.
You know, sometimes hitters will show that bunt early in the count. It's almost taking a pitch, but you want to expose some of those lanes that you can hit the ball past those infielders that move in on the grass.
Line but foul.
He was all over that one. Fastball in, spinning on it after getting pitched away. Now, as a pitcher, fastball in, turns on, I'm throwing him a changeup next pitch. I mean, if he's getting the barrel of that bat out in front of the inner part of the plate on a fastball, he's geared fastball. I'm going cambio and maybe screwing him right into the ground.
Yeah, you got to remember too. Here's the slider.
And he strikes out again.
But it's not velocity when you talk about Gallardo. So him turning on it might be just that reactionary where you're looking middle in and you reacted to that fastball.
2 outs. Cashner tried to bunt his way on. Didn't quite get it far enough away from home plate, and catcher Jimenez able to pounce out and throw him out on a close play.
And Gallardo's really looking comfortable on that glove side.
Out here, right, Mark?
Right out there.
The ball and the strike, and the pitch count elevating. 77 now from Gallardo.
Matt Kemp's putting on a show.
He sure is. Worth the price of admission.
Up the middle, will that get through? No, Andrus able to go behind second base to throw out Cashner. 3 up, 3 down. The Padres story in the 4th. It's still a 1-run game.
sentence or two, what would it be? What was Coach talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's somebody that's for us. You know, I mean, you talk about it's us versus them a lot of times in competitive sports, and you know, who's the us? You know, it's anybody that's for us, wants to see us do well. Who's the them? You know, anybody that doesn't want to see us do well. You know, that's against us.
Jim Harbaugh makes his debut as the University of Michigan coach, and you'll be able to see it all on Fox Sports 1. Michigan and Harbaugh against a very talented Utah team. Season's biggest opener, and the only place you can see it is on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Coverage begins at Thursday at 4 o'clock here in Pacific time, sponsored by Geico. Now they're expecting a lot of the Wolverines, but beware, the Utes beat Michigan at Ann Arbor last year, and they've got most of their team back.
The two Utes.
Did you just say Utes? Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. Youths.
We go to the fifth, and Gallardo leads it off for the Rangers. Then the top of the order to Shields and Chu. That's in there. 0-2. I heard some conversation today from one of the pundits that said that one thing Harbaugh has already established, and no surprise there. Line drive whistled into left field. That's going to go all the way to the corner. And Gallardo, the pitcher, has himself a stand-up double. He can hit. That's only his fourth official at bat of the season. He's 2 for 4.
Well, we talked about the bat of Gallardo. He can swing it. He can hit the home run, and right here it's a hanging breaking ball out in front of it, just enough to keep it in the yard. He hit that ball well. Since the start of interleague play in 1997, only one Texas Ranger pitcher has a home run. It's Bobby Witt. Well, guess who Giovanni Gallardo's agent is? Bobby Witt.
You're kidding me.
No, isn't that ironic?
And he's got 12 home runs,
Yeah.
Gallardo. So a chance to bolster their lead. 3-2 Texas with a leadoff double. DeShields' dad was a 13-year Major League veteran. Had a good career, hit .268. Stole 463 bases, and this looks like an apple from the same tree. Delino DeShields Jr. Very fast.
Played with his dad in St. Louis, and man, could he change the game with his speed. You see this young man getting an opportunity at the big league level. The Houston Astros organization, and they plucked him from there, and he has benefited from the playing time, and now they can't take him out of the lineup.
And testimony to a player's speed, you look at the number of triples. Yeah, normally at this stage you got guys with 3, 4, whatever. He's got 9.
Yeah.
Two 2-0. He's grounded to short, blooped a single to right, and scored. That's in there.
Yeah, he's possibly one of those guys that could end up having more triples than doubles on the year. He's got 15 doubles, 9 triples. Triple, one of the most exciting plays in baseball, don't you think, guys?
I agree.
Smothered foul. And spring training, coming out of the spring training, DeShields was going to be maybe the extra outfielder. He was an 8th round pick of the Astros in 2010. And the Rangers stole him in the Rule 5 draft. December of last year, and here he is.
You continue to have your scouts out there looking at players that you can acquire that can be difference makers, and one of those components is speed. I think every organization would love to see a guy at the top of the order that can be a difference maker, get the guys behind him some more fastballs, but also change the game.
Full count. Oh, whistle to left. Can Upton get there? Yes, on the run. Man, that ball was lined hard and fortunately within the range of Justin Upton for the first down.
Well, it's first step in the outfield, and Justin Upton again gets that good first step and cruises in catching that baseball.
That's a big league hang with him.
That brings up Shin-Soo Choo. Padres haven't been able to get him out. He's hit it hard twice. A line single to center. He scored on Fielder's home run. A line double to right center to drive in the third Texas run. That's the difference in the game at the moment. Padres didn't have trouble with Choo in the 3-game series in Texas. They handled him pretty well.
Well, here's a situation where the infield is shifted over to the right side. Jerkowitz short, kind of shading over towards second base here. The point I want to make is that if you get Gallardo off second base, hey, how about a snap throw down after the pitch? Just a thought. Sometimes those pitchers can get a little froggy.
He was 0 for 11 in the 3-game series in Texas. 1-1. Prince Fielder on deck. Gallardo out at second base with the leadoff double.
Pretty cool looking gloves. Thanks for playing.
Well, you look at the gloves, and you better hit well when you wear gloves like that. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. Did you ever try no batting gloves, Mark Sweeney?
I did not. I like the feel of the batting gloves. I actually put tape around my bat as well.
Grounded to first, and Wallace will take it to the bag for the out. 2 away. On to third goes Gallardo. So Gallardo spending the entire half inning on base, and here's Fielder. Last year, as we said, playing only into May before the neck injury. Got 42 games in the bank and only 3 home runs. Now a full season, 318 with 18 homers.
No batting gloves for Prince Fielder.
You know, a lot of guys will talk about feel.
Yeah.
You know, the calluses on their hands. They like that feel of the bat. But there's very few guys that did it. A good friend of mine, John Mabry, who's the hitting coach of St. Louis, did it all the time. But in those colder climates, you'd see him put the gloves back on.
A little refresher course for Darren Balsley and Andrew Kashner with Fielder at the plate. First base open, second base open. 2 outs. Maybe just going over the scouting report.
Tough to put him on because you get another tough hitter behind him in Beltre.
Yes, he did.
You see heavy in center field, which using the big part of the field. He does not care where he hits. Got power to all fields, and you can see the intent. If you ever gone down to Rangers Stadium, that's in Arlington.
To left field, slicing into the corner, and Upton chasing, but that goes into the front row, right on the railing. That fan. What was interesting about that graphic was that he was almost even hitting left and hitting right field.
Well, he hits it where it's pitched. I mean, he has intent to pull the baseball. You see using all fields, but also the home runs are up. 9 home runs to right. It travels there in Dallas, in Texas, excuse me, in Arlington.
2 strikes on Prince Fielder. And a foul. Well, he grew up in ballparks, as sons of fathers, Major League fathers, are wont to do. And there's the home run in the first inning off the top of the center field fence. Number 18. Just missed that one. High to left. Upton squeezes the final out. And that's it for the Rangers in the 5th inning. We've reached the halfway mark in this. It's 3-2 Texas. Brought to you by Saquon Casino. Play, win together in the heart of San Diego. And by Jack in the Box. For a limited time, try the new Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack with melted garlic herb butter. Usher, there's not a fly in my soup, but there's a ball in my tacos.
You know where I get some hot sauce?
That's a hang in there.
Well, the Rangers are second to last in fielding in the American League. And it carries over to the fans in the stands.
But the Padres come to work here in the bottom of the fifth inning, trailing 3-2. Jankowski, then Solarte, and Brett Wallace. Jankowski fouled to third baseman Beltre the first time. Another foul off third, and Beltre's there for the first down.
That looked like a sand wedge right there off the bat of Jankowski.
Oh, nice. 60 degree?
60 degree.
Hey, once again, I want to thank Saquon for all they do in our community. And as Dick mentioned, said that if there's ever an event or something going around town in our county, that Saquon is stepping up right there. And we appreciate it. What a nice gesture.
It was really
the
nice.
Sticks? Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
We haven't received ours yet. I kind of think I saw Pomerantz putting 3 sets in his trunk.
I think they put them on eBay already.
Yeah, we thank Saquon. They've been a very loyal sponsor of the San Diego Padres, a great partner, and community leaders. Solarte, a 2-out single the last time, and that set the table because Wallace followed with a single, and then Kemp doubled them home after a wild pitch put them in scoring position. Easy chance for Odor, and there's 2 away. That'll bring up Brett Wallace. If you're just joining us, Yonder Alonso doubled his first time up and then left the game in the second inning. After the second inning, when his back tightened, Wallace came up and singled and eventually scored.
Well, if there's anyone that's prepared to come in early in a ball game, it's Brett Wallace right now, just trying to get some at-bats. When you know you're feeling good in the batter's box, you want to get as many opportunities as you can.
Second baseman Odor way out in shallow right field. Not a full shift, but playing very deep at second base. Now shortstop Andrus shading more almost behind the bag at second. So a modest shift. A little late pulling the trigger.
Looked like a little cut fastball or something, huh?
That was your cut fastball right there.
Yeah, I believe it. I love the cut fastball.
Why do I have to believe it?
Let's see. Over, loop, over, under, through, double knot. You didn't do the double knot. If you do the double knot, you wouldn't worry about it. These kids these days.
Ball and 2 strikes. Outside 2-2. Well, Wallace out of Arizona State, where he played for Pat Murphy. Highly regarded. The Cardinals picked him in the first round, 13th overall, 7 years ago. And he was traded around Houston. That ball hit. Line shot to left field. And he continues to swing that bat with authority. 2 for 2 for Wallace.
Well, the best thing that Brett's doing is actually going the other way when it's located away. See him staying inside the baseball. Perfect balance. When he gets his foot down, you can see that head locked into the baseball.
Not a lot of movement either, Mark Smith, with that head. Very still cabeza for Brett Wallace.
I think that's the consistency, and Pat Murphy knows all about him. He's giving him opportunities, but now he's capitalizing on those opportunities.
So Matt Kemp with the tying run at first here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Hard ground ball out to third, and then the 2-run double for the Padres. 2 scores back in the 3rd. Low, ball 1. Next pitch will be number 90 from Gallardo. Two and 0.
Fastball in.
Hit deep to left center field. Way back. And Kemp will touch them all. Number 17 for Matt Kemp. 2 more runs batted in. And the Padres lead it 4-3. Oh, my. That was a tee shot to center field.
Hey, get the driver out. 2-0 fastball. Matt Kemp continues to swing a hot bat off the bat. 102.1. That'll get that bench up and smiling and high-fiving all the way around. Padres with 1 swing taking the lead because of that man, Matt Kemp.
You almost got a sense the Padres were hanging around, and the at-bats continue to get better and better. Matt Kemp delivers again.
All 4 runs scored after 2 were out and no one on base.
Only the 12th home run given up by Gallardo. He's a guy who's been getting a lot of ground balls over the course of the season. He got one up. Matt Kemp made him pay.
You wonder about Gallardo after the double leading off the top half of the inning, being on base all inning, and he's thrown a lot of pitches.
Well, you see down and in, and Matt Kemp gets his hands inside. This is the perfect opportunity. When he is driving the baseball to the center field, it's going to be damage.
Ground ball to the right side. Ranging is Odor to throw out Justin Upton. But the 2-out single from Brett Wallace sets the table again. And Kemp delivers a long shot to center. Number 17 gives the Padres a 4-3 lead. Fielder got the Rangers on the board with a 2-run home run in the first inning for the Texas Rangers. And then Shin-Soo Choo doubled in another in the third, an early 3-0 Texas lead, but Kemp went to work. 2 outs, 2 on, a double makes it 3-2, 2 outs, 1 on, a home run, and the Padres lead at 4-3. Our Harrah's game summary. Kemp driving in all 4 San Diego runs.
Setting the table for Matt Kemp.
Exactly. And how about the 2-out Thunder?
All with the bases empty.
Love it.
Those are backbreakers if you're going against another club, and the Padres continue to battle and give out good at-bats with 2 outs in RBI situations.
You know, another factor I think in tonight's game is, I'm not saying Gallardo's a strikeout pitcher, but only 2 strikeouts tonight offensively for San Diego. Unfortunately, both for Corey Spangenberg, but putting the ball in play nicely.
Breaking ball. So for the first time, Andrew Kastner works with the lead here in the top of the 6th inning. Gallardo giving up only 14 home runs all season, that being the 14th. Line drive, base hit. Beltre, the lines went over second baseman Spangenberg's head, and the leadoff man is on again for Texas. Let's go to our Geico on this day in Major League Baseball history. September 1st, 2008. Beltre with Seattle triples in the 8th inning against the Rangers to become the 4th player in franchise history. Joining Jay Buhner, Alex Rodriguez, yes, that Alex Rodriguez, and John Olerud to hit for the cycle. Tying run on, leadoff single. 3rd time tonight. Leadoff man safely aboard for Texas brings up Rougned Odor. Infield hit and a fly to left. Ball 1. Arizona defeated Colorado tonight 5-3. The Dodgers are leading 1-0 over the Giants in that pitcher's battle. Greinke and Baumgartner up at Dodger Stadium.
What a heavyweight bout up there in LA.
Line drive, just fair ball. It must have hit Wallace's glove. On to third goes Beltre. Into second goes Odor. And they're hitting shots off Kastner. Did Wallace touch the ball? Because it appeared it landed in foul territory.
Couldn't really tell initially, but I tell you what, first base umpire Trip Gibson, he was demonstrative on his call, saying it was fair. Let's take another look. Hit his glove.
Yeah.
Good call, Dick.
It was hooking. It might have gone foul, but Wallace obviously has to go for it.
And his glove was in fair territory, so good call. Trip Gibson was all over it.
So second and third with no one out as the Rangers come fighting back after the 2-run homer by Kemp. And that's going to be all for Kastner. He leaves with no one out. Runners at second and third. Here comes Nick Benson.
some fun. Tweet your strongest fan photo. You got to use the hashtag SDDataStrongFan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by our good friends at T-Mobile. Have some fun with it. Send us a picture.
So Andrew Kashner, who had no one out here in the 6th inning, his night is through. Gave up 8 hits, didn't walk a man, struck out 4. He leaves with a 1-run lead, but 2 men in scoring position. Our pitching change brought to you by El Cajon Ford, and welcome back to Nick Vincent.
Yes, in 40 relief appearances for Nick in AAA El Paso. 5-3 record, had a 3.04 ERA, 50 and a third innings pitch. You know, when Nick was here earlier in the season, you know, he's getting knocked around a little bit. He said his slider was a little bit too big. The cutter was getting a little too big. Yeah. So he got to shorten up that cutter. And Mark, we know that's a nasty pitch when it's on.
Yeah, when it's on. We saw him all year last year in big situations dominate both left-handers and right-handed hitters.
Elvis Andrus is the hitter. In this situation with a 1-run lead, 2nd and 3rd, the guy you're worrying about is the man at second base. He'll give up the run at 3rd, get an out, and hopefully they'll get an out. Yes, Jankowski tracks it down. Both men tag, and they both will advance, and the game is tied at 3 on the sacrifice fly.
Well, pretty good execution by Elvis Andrus. Looking for that ball out over the plate that he can drive, not only to the right side, but he drove it in the outfield to get the run in.
And moved the runner over to 3rd with 1 out to break the tie. Will Venable struck out both times facing Kashner.
Well, we take a look at the location of the pitch for Nick Vincent. You can see just missing location when Derek Norris's glove, and you can watch him tag. Adrian Beltre cruises in, but Odor over to 3rd base. Perfect execution for the Rangers.
Yeah, and that forces the infield to be brought in for the Padres.
Venable, the ex-Padre. Chance to give Texas the lead. Kashner had his number. He looked at strike 3 both times up.
You got to remember, guys, for Will Venable, he knows what everyone has on this pitching staff, but he hasn't seen it out of the hands. It's a big difference.
Ball 2.
Now, Dave Magadan probably used Will Venable for his hitters meetings. Try to go over the pitching, giving them a scouting report, but when you're locked in and you're playing defense behind all of these pitchers for the Padres, and then you reverse the role, that is very difficult.
Good bunter, safety squeeze could be on. Takes 3-0. Well, Ross Ohlendorf, the veteran right-hander, spent some time with the Padres. He's been called up on this September 1st as the rosters have increased and Rangers have added 6-7 players. 3-0.
There's that cutter. Green light at 3-0.
And Mark Zepchinski and Marcus Mateo getting ready for the Padres.
They can manage differently in September. You have a few extra arms.
Venable calls time. 3-1 the count.
Yeah, I liked your little segment of the pregame show talking about the expansion of the rosters in the month of September.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I think it should stay 25, and you can have a rotating roster, and I'll tell you why after this pitch.
Ball 4. So 1st and 3rd with 1 out, and that'll bring up Jimenez or a pinch hitter.
I think 25-man roster and a rotating roster because you only have to activate 1 starting pitcher. You don't have to have your other 4 starters on the roster, so you can have an extra position player, or you can mix and match however you like. So just that starting pitcher that night would be active, and the other 4 you can set aside, and then the next night the other guys. It's been like that for 4 or 5 months, right?
Yeah,
managing. So
we see Pat Murphy going out and having a conversation, see what happens. But I like the expanded roster, but I say go 30. And have a designated number that you have to have. But I think that's a necessity for baseball moving forward.
So Vincent gets one out, first and third with one away, and Mateo's going to come in from the bullpen. In HD by Sony. So one of those added to the roster, Nick Vincent and Marcus Mateo, the only two called up on September 1st to bolster the weary bullpen for the Padres. He was with the big club before, 15 games, high ERA, tough on right-handers. So a change going to be made by the Rangers. They're going to counter with the left-handed hitting Mitch Moreland.
You know, hopefully that neck is feeling better for Marcos Mateo because, you know, he's got some live stuff, but lefty's hitting .320 with 3 home runs off Marcos. He needs to make an adjustment here. High leverage opportunity. Big inning here for Marcos Mateo and the Padres.
And a tough hitter, Mitch Moreland. As a pinch hitter, he's 5 for 8. Overall in the season, batting .285 with 18 homers.
Well, with one out, you got to keep your eyes on Will Venable at first as well.
Looking for a double play chance. Ooh, very high, 85 on the first delivery.
Yeah, Moreland has grounded into 9 double plays this year. The leader in that category for the Rangers is Prince Fielder with 16.
Talk about a tough out here in this situation. He's their primary designated hitter, Mitch Moreland.
I would think he would be going, wouldn't you think, Mark Sweeney?
Yeah, this is a perfect situation to go. He's just trying to pick out a good spot.
Absolutely.
High again. 2-0. Leadoff hitter Delano DeShields is 2 away. Gallardo, the pitcher spot, is due next. Bobby Wilson, a right-handed hitter, is in the on-deck circle. That's a strike at 91. Four the score here in the top of the 6th inning. Beltre single, double Odor, and a sacrifice fly Andrus has tied it. Odor at third with 1 out. Pops him up. Spangenberg. Oh, that's way up in the ninth. 2 away. You could have cut that up into 8 singles.
Well, let's go back to the first pitch. Righty on lefty. Not even close for Marcos Mateo. The second pitch. Okay, now we've got some work to do. 2-0. There's the fastball. Could have done some damage there. 2-1. went up the ladder. I don't know whether that was by design or not, but it worked out well for Mateo. Kept the pop fly in the infield for the second out.
So 2 away, and Bobby Wilson is the pinch hitter. His second opportunity off the bench. He's 0 for 1. He's been up an even 100 at bats with 20 hits, so that's easy to figure. The 200 batting average. First and third, 2 away. Ball 1. Starts him with a slider. Trying to keep Odor from scoring here with 2 outs. Right on the corner at the knees.
Yeah, what a perfect pitch by Mateo. Down and away with that fastball. 94 on that fastball. He saw the velocity the first time tonight.
Runner goes. No throw by Norris as Venable steals second. So second and third. 2 balls and a strike to count.
See how Fox tracks right on the edge. That looked like a pretty good pitch.
What job. That went quickly into the box seats just beyond the dugout of the Rangers.
Yeah, Bobby Wilson checking his bat. That got in his kitchen a little bit.
Some of the fans involved in a distracting wave and not paying attention. That's a good way to get yourself a nice bruise. 2-2 the count. Breaking ball is wide.
I'm guessing another breaking ball right here. Throw it 2-2 to get to 3-2. You miss. Why not throw it again? Especially with first base open.
Strike 3 call. Hit the outside corner. Mateo returns to the major leagues. That's a big league effort by the hard-throwing right-hander. Rangers settle for 1. We're tied at 4.
Base open. He's going after Bobby Wilson. Everything's away. Away. Another fastball. One more fastball here, Mark Sweeney, and then he goes soft.
Yeah, and I think that was the reason. Throwing in exposes that outside corner. You see Bobby Wilson saw the previous slider very well. That one was a perfect slider by Mateo and putting him away. Nice pitching by Marcus Mateo.
So the Rangers come in with the veteran Ross Ohlendorf, who was here with the Padres 3 years ago. Pitched last year all in the minor leagues and signed a minor league contract this spring with the Rangers. Went to Princeton, was a teammate all 3 years with Will Venable there. 6'4" and 240 pounds. Now 33 years of age.
Perfect guy because he's done everything in the game. He's been that spot starter, a starter in the big leagues, and also pitched out of the bullpen, and you can see one of those weapons that you can use. He's a strike thrower.
You know what I love about Ross Ohlendorf? He goes old school with the windup. The hands parting the body and getting the swing going and then up over the head.
Yeah.
Going old school.
Wilson stays in the game behind the plate. Jet Jerko leads off the bottom of the 6th. A new ball game at 4. Nubbed off the head of the bat. A roller out to Odor. 1 pitch, 1 out. All 3 at bats for Jerko, groundouts. Yeah, the bullpen of the Rangers has been their Achilles this year. Second to the Tigers in being generous.
Well, that's probably the reason why they have a surplus of guys coming up today with the start of September and putting some more arms in that bullpen to just do matchups and see if they can get out of those tough situations.
I dislike that. That's another reason why the expanded round. You know, we go to Colorado and they have 18 arms in the bullpen.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
Ohlendorf just 9 games, 7 2/3 prior to tonight.
You know what else is weird I just discovered about Ohlendorf? When he goes into that swing, as we take a look at Andrew Faulkner warming up, the lefty, he keeps the ball in his glove. Usually pitchers will keep the ball in their hand.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that is interesting.
And Ross Ohlendorf also leads all of Major League Baseball as far as working up a lather.
He does.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
He can sweat to the oldies with the best of them.
2 strikes on Norris, who has grounded out sharply and lined out.
Didn't he say old school?
Yeah.
Breaking ball low and away. You don't want to go out and take a IQ test with Ohlendorf.
No.
You don't want to do that.
Nope.
Chop foul used to be in kind of a common lexicon when you were doing radio baseball back in the time. And the call was he rocks and he fires. Well, he's one of the few that still rocks back and fires.
I love it.
I like lexicon. That's nice.
That's right next to Mexicali. It's right there to the west. Line drive into the corner. Is it fair? No, just foul. Into the souvenir section down there, that high shade section for fans. Those young kids were playing it just right. Just in 7 innings of work, Ohlendorf's given up a couple of home runs.
Darren Balsley talking some mechanics, it looks like, with Andrew Cashner.
Four runs, 8 hits for the Rangers. 4 runs, 6 hits for the Padres.
Well, here's the methodical delivery of Ross Ohlendorf, and what it gives you problems is he has that slight pause right there that'll mess up the timing of the hitters. You'll see a lot of foul balls and exposing him out of the strike zone when he gets 2 strikes.
You know what else he does? His foot moves to one spot and then back to the pivot spot on the rubber. Watch, he'll start here, he'll go over here, and then he'll go back over here when he starts his delivery.
94 miles an hour on that last fastball. Popped up off third. Might be a play for Beltre at the, yes, right at the railing of the Ranger dugout for the second out. That'll bring up Corey Spangenberg is glad that Gallardo's gone. He struck out both times facing Gallardo.
Little help from his teammates, don't you think, Mark Sweeney, over there near the Texas Ranger bench? Hey, you got room, you got room.
And his teammates have a lot of fun with Adrian Beltre. He loves the game, and listen, he'll be very animated towards his dugout. They have a lot of fun with him.
He still can get it up there.
That's a big kid right there, Ross Ollendorf.
6'2", and check that, 6'4" and 240. Change up.
Darren Balsley said that when he was a Padre, Ross Ollendorf is the nicest kid ever that he has ever come across. Nicest kid.
Another native Texan, grew up on a ranch where they raise those big old longhorns. Yeah, you got to be able to move quickly when you're around those fellas, you know. And it goes 2-2 to Spangenberg. His senior thesis at Princeton was analyzing the cost effectiveness of the Major League Baseball's first-year player draft.
Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Line drive, fair ball, just inside the line, and there goes Spangenberg. He might try for 3 now. He's rounding second, and he's going to make it to third easily. A triple for Spangenberg. Chu had a little trouble playing the carom out there in right field. Spangenberg saw it and put it in high gear.
Good two-strike hitting, and you can see the pitch by Ross Ollendorf and keeping this ball fair. Watch the first base umpire. Credit him making that perfect call and seeing that ball inside the line. Watch Corey Spangenberg run those pillows. Good speed.
His 4th triple of the season. And the tying run with 2 outs at third. And Melvin Upton is going to hit for the pitcher, Marcus Mateo.
Hey, remember last half inning in the 5th for the Padres, they scored 2 runs with 2 outs. 2-out triple for Corey Spangenberg.
Upton has had great success in his career against the Rangers. He's hit lifetime 10 home runs against Texas pitching. One and one. There's the damage done against Texas pitching. 308 average, 10 homers, 31 runs batted in. A single would play nicely right here. One and two.
Guys, you see Melvin Upton Jr. and he's making some adjustments, and we've seen a more consistent swing. You see a lot of foul balls right now, but he's got a slightly open setup, which allows you to have both eyes on the pitcher. At times, when he first came here, it looked like he was staring the second baseman down. See that head position, and the vision comes into play with that setup.
.94 again on the fastball. 2-2. Jankowski would be next.
Fastball away.
Ooh, just got enough to stay alive.
Kind of quick pitch in there too, a quick set.
Yeah, there's a slide step, which changes all the timing, and that fastball to go along with it, 94 miles an hour on the quick pitch.
That'll sail into the crowd down the right field side.
Talk about Ollendorf and Mark Sweeney talking about trying to disrupt the timing of hitters. From the stretch, just a quick from the belt and then straight up slide step. Getting up on top of him quickly with the fastball.
Yeah, and everything with the setup as a hitter, you go quicker. You tend to get out of the strike zone, not do the normal thing that you usually have with your timing.
And a full count. That pitch low. Good layoff by Upton. Full count. Spanchenberg, the tiebreaker at third with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Another foul. Rangers built an early 3-0 lead. 2 of those runs on Prince Fielder's 18th homer of the season. Padres came back with 2 in the 3rd on a 2-run double by Matt Kemp, and then took the lead on a 2-run homer by Kemp in the 5th inning. Rangers tied it in the top half of the 6th. Even at 4. Spanchenberg with a 2-out triple at third. And 3-2 coming up to Melvin Upton.
Time for a mistake.
Popped him up, shallow and right. Chu calls off Odor. And the Padres strand the go-ahead run at third. We've completed 6 at Petco. Padres 4, Rangers 4. Tools of the trade.
Well, we're doing talk some sliding. Corey Spangenberg on second base. Tyson Ross up the gut. He gets the green light. Now, with the catcher, Wilson out front of home plate. He needs a little help. Goes to the outside. Wilson blocks the plate. Molina. Wilson blocks the plate. Gets his foot in there. Sliding feet first for the run. That was in the 8th inning yesterday.
Spanchenberg trying to give the Padres the lead in the last of the 6 with that triple, but unable to get him home. So here's Mark Zepchinski making his 16th appearance as a Padre. He'll face DeShields, Chu, and Fielder. DeShields right-handed, but then Chu and Fielder 2 lefties. So manager Murphy playing the percentages to have left-hander against left-hander, and you can see Zepchinski much more effective against lefties. DeShields a single in 3 at-bats. Lined viciously to left field the last time. Upton able to race toward the line and pick it off. 21,215 here at Petco tonight. Seeing a good ball game. That's a strike. Got to keep him off the bases. He can really rumble. Fuck him out. 3-pitch strikeout. Zepchinski.
Big punch out for the left-hander, Zepchinski. That breaking ball down and in to the Shields. Watch the glove of Norris. Does it move? It's down. That's if you're going to miss, that's where you want to miss. Swings right over the top of it.
Here comes Chu. Single and a double. He scored a run and knocked in one. At the shins of Shin.
Oh, nice,
yeah,
Professor.
Well, that's, right there.
Yeah, very nice. Jake Diekman, hard throwing lefty up for the Rangers.
Ground ball toward the hole. It's going to be tough for Jerko on balance throw. In time! That is a terrific play by Jerko. It took all of his arm to get Chu.
A beautiful play. To his right, he rounds it. And then no time for setting in a crow hop. And wow, that is close. Nice job by Brett Wall stretching. How close is it? Oh.
Well, they may challenge this one. That was much like the play we saw earlier tonight. That ball in the glove and the foot on the bag simultaneously. Crew chief Mark Carlson and the first base umpire Trip Gibson. And they'll check with New York. Jerko did all he could.
Yes, he did. That's when a shortstop arm comes into play. I mean, you got to throw across your body to take another look. From the left side, Chu is off. Now remember, it's where that ball hits the glove of the first baseman. As soon as that ball hits the pocket of the glove, it's right there. Now where he's out. I think he's out.
Unless his heel has hit the front edge of the bag.
That's close. You're right. That's very close.
Is there enough evidence to overturn that?
As we enjoy Booker T and the MGs. Little music for your listening pleasure here at Petco Park.
One more look. Ball and glove. Foot hits base. And the call is out.
Nice play, Jed Jerko. Hey, the Jerk Store's open at short. Everybody's welcome.
Yeah, he's done a good job there at shortstop. Here's the dangerous Prince Fielder. A 2-run homer, a ground out, a fly out. They'll shift on him now with Solarte moving over to the second base side. Jerko will man the left side. Spangenberg out in shallow right, and the first pitch misses. Fourth best average in the American League, coming in at .316. Ball two. As we mentioned earlier, his dad, Cecil Fielder, primarily playing with the Tigers, and this young guy grew up in the baseball clubhouse with his dad. And it was his father who insisted that he bat left-handed, a natural right-hander. Pretty good advice. He beats the shift there, just rifles one through the right side. He just can flat out hit. Second hit tonight. 2 away to Adrian Beltre.
And as we mentioned earlier, he uses the whole field.
9 hits now for the Rangers, and here comes Pat Murphy. From the very start, Zepchinski was in there to face the first 3 hitters, 2 of them being left-handed. Now with a right-hander, Beltre They'll go to the bullpen. And we'll go to a commercial break with the score tied at 4.
The cast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
All right, thank you, Mark Grant. And here is Sean Kelly with 2 outs. Fielder at first, Beltre the batter. Singleton scored the last time, 1 for 3 for Beltre. Good job done by Kelly on the year. Opposing batters hitting only .220. Boy, Beltre comes out with a big cut.
He had one thing in mind in that first pitch fastball as Darren Balsley has a chat with the left-hander Mark Zepchinski.
And another base hit, a shot to left field. Fielder will move up to second. Upton plays it in. The 2 big guys with 2 outs, Fielder and Beltre, with solid singles. And that'll bring up Odor.
Well, you like to get out of the inning, but the one thing is single. You keep them in the yard. You prevent them from hitting extra base hits. Beltre gets extended on this high fastball.
Darren Balsley to the mound. Odor, a double his last time off the glove of Wallace at first base. You've not been with us throughout the entire evening. Why is Wallace at first base? Well, Yonder Alonso left the game early with a stiff back. Wallace taking his place. Wallace a couple of hits in his stead. And Kelly, the 5th pitcher used by Pat Murphy, trying to get out of this 7th inning with 2 on, 2 out. Odor has an infield hit and a double in his 3 bats.
I think Darren Balsley just refreshing the scouting report to Sean Kelly.
And it gets away. That should be a pass ball, and that takes away the force and puts 2 men in scoring position. I don't know whether he was crossed up, but he got his glove on it.
Yeah, it looked like a backdoor slider. He wanted it down and in. Looks like it backs up a little bit, and then rather than fingers down, Derek tries to catch it fingers up, the thumb down, and the runners move up. He wanted that one down and in. Looks like they just put him on right here.
So they'd rather load him up and take their chances. Whoa. Elvis Andrus almost threw that one away. Just lobbing it up there rather than throwing it.
You know, there is such a thing called a catcher's balk. Now, the box behind home plate where the catcher sits, see this box right here? The rule book states that a catcher has to stay within that box until the pitcher releases the ball out of his hand. then he can go. Do they ever call it? They don't.
No, but it's violated all the time.
Exactly. But I think that's a nice little nugget that's in the rule book that
catcher's balk.
Catcher's balk. There is such a thing.
Now with the bases loaded, they look at Andrus, who on the season is 4 for 8 with the bases drunk. And he takes strike one.
His first pitch breaking ball by Sean Kelly.
Andrus knocked in the tying run with a sacrifice fly in the last inning. One and one. Fielder, Beltre, and Odor aboard. 2 outs. Well, he got a good pitch there.
Yeah, he got away with one just working underneath it. You can see his reaction. Now it's time for Sean Kelly to make an adjustment, having a little visit with Derek Norris. There's the line score, the box score for Texas.
And those top 5 hitters in the order doing the damage. 9 of the 10 hits. The other hit was by the pitcher Gallardo. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Elvis Andrus. Bases loaded. And a line drive base hit to right. That'll score 1. Here comes the throw by Kemp to the plate. And he is no, he kicked it out of the glove of Norris. Here comes another run as Norris is still down. And still another run. Somebody's got to cover home plate. And finally Salardo comes in. And as he tried to make the tag, Norris reaching out, and it takes the full blunt of the slide from the runner. So 3 runs have scored to break the 4-4 tie, and more importantly, let's see how seriously injured Derek Norris is. They're holding that left wrist as he tried to make the catch and the tag and took the full brunt of the sliding Beltre. And you see this often when a first baseman tries to make a catch of an errant throw into the runner.
Yep. You know, when Derek Norris stays down for as long as he has, something's not right. He was set up perfectly. It was a nice throw from Matt Kemp. Just the bad timing of applying the tag and getting a foot or a leg into that left hand, the glove hand, knocking the ball loose.
If he had held the ball, he was going to be out. The runner was going to be out at the plate, and only 1 run would have scored. The inning's over, but instead 3 runs score, and let's see how seriously that does not look good. Could be a sprain of the wrist. That often is the case. That hand bent back as he made the tag. Here's another look. So Kemp's throw is going to be there in time.
Looks like the shin are just below the knee, getting the left hand, the glove hand of Derek.
And when the ball squirted away, the runner from first base, Odor, came all the way around to score. Austin Hedges then will come in for Norris. So that's a mighty big play. Instead of 5-4 inning over, inning still goes, and 3 runs score. It's 7-4 Texas. Sepchinski charged with one of those runs. The other 2 are on Kelly's card. Now Kelly walking off the mound.
Oh my goodness. That last warm-up throw he threw was kind of errant. It was kind of way off base.
So Kelly joins his battery mate Derek Norris in the clubhouse. He's hurt.
Here's this last warm-up pitch to Austin Hedges. And just like that, looks towards the bench and exits to the dugout.
So with the injury, the replacement for Kelly will have as much time as necessary to warm up. We'll see who they call. It's Quackenbush who's going to come in.
Okay, Austin Hedges replacing Norris, and he's just giving him a look-see.
Oh, my goodness.
Boy, it works underneath it. And
so Quackenbush will take over. As he needs a review of this inning after 2 were out. Fielder lined a single to center. Exit Sepchinski, enter Kelly, and Kelly gave up a line single to Beltre. They walked Odor intentionally with 2 outs, bases loaded. Andrus line single to right, 1 run scored. They had the second runner Beltre at the plate, but that's when Norris suffered the injury. And then coming all the way around to score from first was Odor. They charged Norris with an error on the play at the plate. And both Norris and Kelly wind up in the training room after the play.
well, here's the throw from Matt Kemp that got the left leg into the left arm of Derek Norris. He is down. And then Kelly, as he's taking a practice throw, now, I want to even go back farther than that because the pitch to Beltre, that single was up out of the zone. Remember the intentional walks?
Right.
There was a couple of errant throws as well. I mean, way off. And then the practice throw, that's enough. Sean Kelly says he walks off. Well, we hope he's okay. We hope Derek Norris is okay. Tough inning for Pat Murphy and the Padres.
Earlier in the game, Yonder Alonso left with a stiffness in the back.
Wow.
It's like a mash game for the Padres. Brackenbush will let the umpire know when he's ready. He said one more. So the Padres had taken a 4-3 lead. The Rangers tied it in the 6th, and then they get 3 more here in the 7th. As 2 outs. Padre bullpen unable to get that last out. Will Venable will hit on the play. Andrus got a single and went all the way to third on the error, and he almost scored when everyone concerned with Derek Norris. No one covered home plate. He was tempted to come all the way around. Venable has walked and struck out twice. Exactly what he did last night. And takes strike 1. Well, stay with us. We may have the report from the clubhouse on the 2 injuries to Kelly and Norris during our game coverage, but we certainly in the post game will be able to bring you up to date. That's strike 2. In the dirt, 1-2.
Talk about somebody having a voodoo doll. Just poking at Alonso, Norris, now Kelly. My goodness.
Venable wearing number 30 on his Ranger uniform. Here comes a runner. He's going to steal it.
Wow.
Elvis Andrus with Quackenbush not paying attention. There's a rare play. You don't see someone steal home often. You just did. Another run for the Rangers.
Quackenbush getting the sign. Andrus, as soon as he comes up set, look at, he's still not set. Steps off, and by that time, the throw is on the first base side. Wow.
Oh, that's salt in the wound. So a 4-run 7th inning capped by a steal of home by Elvis Andrus. All 3 of those runs charged to Sean Kelly.
He's talking about Quackenbush and going into his set when he got the sign, taking his eye off the target and the runner like he does every time.
And then a sharp shot to Solarte at third, and Venable is out, inning over. But the Rangers with a big 4-run 7th and lead now 8-4. Diego fans of the game. And Mark Grant.
Yeah, great seats out there in right field.
Yeah.
Enjoying the big league ball game on Pride night. Hello.
Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
Hubba hubba.
Well, now a hard throwing left-hander, Jake Diekman. Remember seeing him with the Philadelphia Phillies last year? This guy can really bring it. Nice ERA of 1.9. The lefties having their way with a 300 average.
How do you figure that? Left-handers against a left-handed pitcher that throws that hard.
I think Diekman, we might see it here. If we see a left-handed hitter coming up like Jankowski, maybe he's always throwing middle away. So he hardly throws inside to left-handers and really doesn't have that wipeout pitch to lefties. They stay on him nicely and take him the other way possibly.
That's a tough one to digest for Quackenbush to have a runner steal home. He caught him looking down, and that's kind of his pattern when in his stretch. He kind of drops his head. And hey, opposing team scouts you. They say, you know, maybe there'll be a time I'll be on third.
Yep.
Andrus pilfers home plate. Boy, haven't seen that all season long. Jankowski in a pattern of fouling out to third. Both times up he fouled out to Beltre. Takes a strike at 97 with movement.
Oh yeah, he's got some nasty stuff from that left side. Always from the stretch. Kind of an abbreviated leg kick, not really a high leg kick, but long arms, creating a lot of movement, generating a lot of power from that body. Throws across his body as well. That's another reason why it should be tough on lefties.
Another 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Fair ball. And he beats it out. Wow. Fielder, judging Jankowski as just an average runner, made a mistake. He thought he could cover the bag himself, and Jankowski just outlegged him to the base. Infield hit.
The tortoise and the hare. Who's going to win the race? The rabbit.
Wow. Oh, we've seen some interesting base running in this inning, haven't we?
That was a beautiful thing to witness there.
Top of the order, Jan Solardi batting from the right side. A single in 3 trips tonight. Scored a run. See if the Padres can climb back in it. Now trailing by 4.
Still within slam range.
Don't want to minimize at all the injury to Derek Norris, but it was painful on the scoreboard too, because the inning should have been over with only 1 run scoring. They wound up getting 3, and they may get 2 on this play. 6-4-3, a double play. Time for our Cholula flamethrower, fans.
Well, with left-hander Jake Diekman out on the hill, 97, as you mentioned, Dick, earlier. That's picante. That's hot stuff. Hot sauce. Whatever.
Well, hot stuff is hot sauce.
Yeah.
A little discouraged there.
I'm just bummed out. I don't like to see my Padres get hurt. I know it's part of the game, but you know, when you have a trifecta like that going down, Alonso, Norris, Kelly, I mean, those, you know, that hurts.
Wallace replacing Alonso has singled twice and scored twice. So this spot in the batting order is 3 for 3. Alonso doubled to right center before he left with injury. Breaking ball inside. Too low. Diekman came over to Texas in the Cole Hamels deal.
You throw across your body like Diekman, and you're touching 97 against the lefty, and you paint away like that. That's nasty stuff. There's Cole Hamels going to toe the slab tomorrow night.
Ian Kennedy will counter for the Padres. 3-1 now to Wallace.
Hey, Ian's been throwing the ball extremely well in the second half. Should be a good matchup.
And we'll have it for you at 6:30. Padres Live, the pregame show. Mike and Mark. Full count. That was quite a deal. Hamels and Diekman with Matt Harrison, Jorge Alfaro, Alec Asher. We saw Asher in the series in Philadelphia. Gerard Eickhoff, he's moved into the rotation. Ground ball foul. Another right-handed pitcher, Jake Thompson, that they had a big feature in the Philadelphia Inquirer on his talent, and outfielder Nick Williams. So the Phillies got a basket full of prospects, 2 of them already in the starting rotation, and then sent Hamels and his big contract to Texas along with this guy, Diekman. 3-2. And a line drive, another hit for Wallace. 3 for 3 off the bench. A solid shot to left field. All the more important, a double play on Solarte's ball.
You got to love the lefty on lefty, and Brett Wallace continues to see the baseball nicely out of the hand of the pitchers. Stay hot.
Closed captioning again tonight, brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. So Jeff Bannister, the manager of the Rangers, apparently going to make a change here. Diekman gives up the infield hit to Jankowski. Double play Solarte, line single Wallace. And with Matt Kemp coming up, wants to bring in a right-hander to face Matt Kemp. Be a double shift. Double move. As the right-hander comes down the steps and will come through the gate. Well, Venable comes out in the double move. And a check of our game summary. First inning, Prince Shielder makes a statement, a 2-run homer. His 18th of the year. 2-0 Texas. Chu, who's had a good night, a double, drove in a run in the third, a 3-0 lead for Texas. Then Matt Kemp drives in 2 with a double to left center. 3-2, and then Kemp with 1 on, delivers a long home run to center field to put the Padres in front 4-3. But Elvis Andrus with this hit, the key play in the game, the play at the plate. Beltre knocks it free from Norris. Norris hurt, lies down. Another run comes in. Then Andrus steals home to make it an 8-4 game. All of that with 2 outs.
Oh, right-hander Sam Dyson for the Texas Rangers. 15 innings plus. This being his 16th game, so you can see he's used maybe for an inning and gone. He's allowed just 3 runs over his last 14 games. That's over 14 innings for the right-hander.
And Drew Stubbs, the veteran outfielder, former Cincinnati Red and Colorado Rocky, goes into left field for Venable. Double switch.
And while we have time, folks, as promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag SDDataStrong for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Thank you, Connor, at McCarty Connor. He's deep in thought there, hoping for a Padre comeback.
So Matt Kemp will face Sam Dyson with Justin Upton to follow. Dyson, his 16th game. One of those brought up from the minor leagues, trying to fortify a weak bullpen. The September 1st expansion of the rosters, the Padres brought up only 2 players. We've seen them, Nick Vincent and Marcos Mateo. The Rangers brought up catcher Carlos Corcoran, Josh Hamilton, both off the DL. Right-hander Luke Jackson, infielder Joey Gallo, highly touted infielder Gallo. Ross Ollendorf has played tonight, and Drew Stubbs is out there in left field.
Well, Dyson's a ground ball pitcher. Trying to get out of this inning for Texas. They need a grounder here. Hopefully Matt Kemp can keep it going.
Knocked in all 4 Padre runs with a 2-run double and a 2-run homer. Now has 85 runs batted in on the season. Tied for 3rd in the National League. And another base hit for Kemp. Boy, that double play now looms very large. 3rd hit of the inning for the Padres, but the Solarte double play gets 2 quick outs, and then Wallace and Kemp follow with line singles, and here's Justin Upton. 1 swing away from making this a 1-run game.
Got a fastball, stayed out nicely. Boy, such an easy looking swing, not overswing. Let the pitcher supply the power, get the barrel head out front. prolonging this inning. One swing here. Yeah, it looks like Justin Upton wants a new shillelagh.
Get one with a long ball in it.
Yeah, I think that one says Wonder Boy on it.
Or number 25, as in 25th homer of the year.
Pick me out a good one there, Jimmy. Bobby, Jimmy.
Superman was Jimmy, wasn't it? It all works.
Yeah.
2 on, 2 out. Upton's lined out, grounded out, and walked. That's a strike. Dyson came over at the trade deadline from Miami. Marlins got catcher Tommy Tellis and a left-handed pitcher Tomas Tellis. Maybe they're both the same guys, same name. Or there's a grievous error there. That's what it says here. Texas City catcher Tomas Tellis and left-handed pitcher Tomas Tellis. That guy's got some talent.
He's a heck of a player.
He not only throws the ball, he runs up and catches it. I mean, that's a guy that's fast. 1-1 to Upton. 96 on the fastball. Well, the Rangers got 3 hits in the top half of the inning, but 4 runs. Padres have 3 hits in the bottom half and looking for a run. 8-4 Texas. Outside target in the dirt.
Well, hopefully Justin Upton holds in his hands the Savoy Special made by the Bad Boy himself in the natural. Remember? I don't see any lightning on the horizon, though, or any
you can create your own, you know.
Coming in.
Jet Churko would be next. Wallace and Kemp aboard with 2 out. Ground ball toward the hole. Andrus a deep short. The throw across is in time. What a play. Andrus throws him out, but Upton was belling into foul territory as if he thought that ball was going to go through and he was going to round first base. Instead, Andrus picks it out of the hole and throws him out. And Upton's furious with himself, and well, he should. He didn't run full speed, and he's out. What an inning.
ball game. Texas leading the Padres. Mark and I are working on Padres Live, the post-game show, which will be brought to you tonight by Cox Communications. A lot of things to talk about this evening. We're going to get you an injury update on all three right now with Sean Kelly and Derek Norris. Yonder Alonso will get those updates for you in the post-game show. We'll get you caught up on some action around the league. Dodgers and Giants scuffling tonight.
Yeah, and a big matchup for the Dodgers and Giants, and it looked like the Dodgers came out with a big victory against Madison Bumgarner tonight. That's a huge victory for the Dodgers.
Yeah, they've taken 2 out of 3, so we'll get you caught up on everything happening around the league, and we'll also hear from Pat Murphy, get everything squared away on the injury front as well. So we'll see you guys after the final out. Dick and Mark.
All right, Mike, lots to cover. We'll be with you in the post-game show. Quackenbush working the 8th inning. Drew Stubbs, the hitter, hitting in the 8th spot of the order, and sends a fly ball shallow and right toward the line. Spangenberg angling into foul territory to make the catch. Well, I know you're all dying to see how the pick the stick is progressing as we open September with that tough battle at the top between Mark Grant and Chris Button. And Grant picks up 7 with Alonso. And look at Mike Pomerantz. He had Kemp tonight, 12 points. He's in the picture. 267 Grant, 266 Pomerantz, 272 for the leader Button. Boy, a crowded leaderboard, the top of the leaderboard. Goodness.
It's getting interesting.
No, too sad. Nothing like it.
Oh.
Wilson bats for the 2nd time. Meanwhile, Mr. Sweeney and Mr. Renberg will commiserate.
Hey, no giving up now. Hey.
Oh, not. We're just commiserating. I mean, it's just, hanging.
I got you. It's a long season.
Yeah, we'll let you guys crow away. We're going to form some strategy. Maybe we can make a deal, a 2-for-1. And we combine our points just to be in the contest.
I just don't see how Button does it.
She's had a great season, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wilson taking over at catcher. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Quackenbush, his 2nd inning. Well, that 7th inning had everything you could ever want that's bad for a team if you're a Padre fan. The 4-run scored by the Rangers when 1 is all they should have scored, but Beltre slide right into the ball, into the wrist, injured Norris, and 3-run score, and then there's a steal at home, and then the Padres get 3 hits and can't score because there's a double play in between them. Wilson grounds out to second, 2 away. How about our Bill Howe play of the game? We go to shortstop. Chad Turco into the hole and uses a strong arm to get the speedy shoot. Our Bill Howe play of the game. Just in time to get you.
That's a great play. You need the hose at shortstop to make up that difference on a play like that.
DeShields looks at a breaking ball low. 1 for 4 in the game. Sepchinski is the pitcher of record for the Padres. And Ohlendorf for the Rangers. Ohlendorf working 1 inning, allowed the triple to Spangenberg, but no runs. Kept the score at 4-4. Center field. Jankowski there. 1, 2, 3 go the Rangers in the 8th, but they lead it 8-4. Brought to you by your San Diego Lexus dealer and by Petco. What we feed them matters. Beautiful night in our fine city. As we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, the Padres will send up Jerko, the catcher Austin Hedges for Norris, and then Spangenberg. Second inning of work for Sam Dyson. Three ground outs for Jerko tonight.
Well, you can see why Dyson is a ground ball pitcher. That's a nasty changeup at 88. He's got the nasty two-seamer on the fastball.
Lifted foul. Well, the Rangers battling for that wild card position, as well as keeping an eye on Houston. Start tonight 4 behind the Astros. Strike 3 call. Dyson's first strikeout brings up Austin Hedges. Craig Kimbrell, who hasn't had much work of late, he's warming up just to knock off the rust. Tomorrow night, Ian Kennedy will be on the hill for the Padres, looking for his 9th win against the no-hit pitcher, Cole Hamels. He's 2-1 as a Ranger. 6:30 our TV time here on Fox Sports San Diego. If you don't have tickets, then join us here for the action. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, those dreaded Dodgers will be here. We'll have some big crowds. Hope you're going to be part of it. Hedges batting for the first time. 0-2. Norris went 0 for 3. Hit the ball hard. Tough luck. He grounded sharply to short and lined out to right. 97 on the fastball from Dyson. So Diekman from the left side, 97, and now Dyson right side, 97. High heat coming out of that bullpen for Texas. And he strikes out Hedges. So back-to-back punch-outs, Jerko and Hedges.
It's a 96-mile-an-hour two-seamer on the outside corner. And a free and easy motion from Dyson. Get on top of it, let it fly. Tough to square up that pitch.
Spangenberg strike out twice and a triple. 2 outs here in the 8th. Got to be quick with this guy on the mound. Line drive, slicing fair into the left field corner. Spangenberg turns at first, and he can walk into second base with a double. Going the opposite way, so double triple for Spangenberg.
That's the way you go about hitting Dyson. Let the ball travel a little bit. Try not to pull that ball. And Corey Spangenberg from up top pitches away, fight it off, take it that way.
The 11th hit tonight for the Padres. Spangenberg with his speed, no trouble walking into second base with a double. Alexi Amarista will pinch hit for Quackenbush. He is 2 for 11 as a pinch hitter this year. Try to cut into that 4-run advantage. Bring home Spangenberg. Up the middle by the pitcher, but there's the second baseman. Look at that play, Odor. It goes on the flip to the shortstop. It's an infield hit. Amarista. It's an interesting play, and sometimes they'll do that where the second baseman will flip the shortstop, then he'll throw back to first. But Amarista's speed, they had no chance to get him.
Yeah, just like turning a double play. Odor gives it up, but by that time, and Marista by first. And you know what? A heads-up play also by Andrus, because he's looking on the backside and hoping that Spangenberg overruns third base. Watch, he takes first base out of the picture and looking to third. Maybe throw behind, yeah.
Credit Glenn Hoffman saying, you stay right there now. See him pointing? Yeah. So the Padres have out-hit the Rangers tonight, 12-11. They had 3 hits last inning and couldn't score. They got 2 hits now with 2 outs here in the 8th inning. And Travis Jankowski hitting 9th as the batter. He legged out a hit on a ground ball to first. He just beat fielder to the bag last time up. He'd fouled out the first 2 at bats. First and third, 2 out, 8th inning, 8-4, Texas. Ball 1. 4 runs, 12 hits for the locals. 8 runs, 11 hits for the Rangers. Padres had 12 hits last night. 2-0. Yeah, the tying runs in the on-deck circle. Jan Solarte. And think about the last inning. They got 3 hits, and the last out was made when Upton misjudged his ground ball. He thought it was going through. He would have beaten that out easily. That's a strike, 2-1. Chopped out in front of the plate. Dyson up with it and gets him by a step. 2 more left on base. It's still 8-4.
Game between SDSU and US.
I think they're going to come support their teams. I think we're going to have a really good crowd. I think they're going to be excited about the game. I think we'll have neighbor against neighbor and that sort of thing, which ought to make it really fun.
Yeah, that will be fun, won't it? The Toreros against the Aztecs, the 2 university teams representing our city's name at Qualcomm. We'll get the preview tonight from the coach himself, Rocky Long. Craig Kimbrell. No chance for a save. Has been inactive for a while with the Padres. Just the game situations. Not calling upon his services, so he's going to pitch an inning. Opposing batters hitting only 189 total against him.
And the last time out for Craig was in the nation's capital on Wednesday. He recorded save number 36. It was an inning, 1 strikeout for the flame-throwing right-hander.
So he's been idle for 6 games. He'll face Chu, Fielder, and Beltre, the best of the Rangers here in the ninth. Chu, a single and an RBI double, 2 for 4. And a hit taken away on Jerko's play at shortstop. One and one. 21,215 are paid attendance tonight. Padres on Thursday against the Dodgers will go over the 2 million mark. Up the middle and a base hit for Chu. 3 for 5. The Rangers have a dozen hits, as do the Padres.
I'm guessing that Chu's hands have to be really kind of stinging a little bit because this ball gets in on him a little bit and it gets down by the label, but he fights it off and pulls it to the second base side of second base for the single to center.
Brings up Prince Fielder, the 2-run homer in the first inning, a single the last time. Scored a couple of runs, drove driven into, and then Adrian Beltre to follow. If you take the games in which Kimbrel has come into pitch where there is no save at stake and compare his record without those games, it would be phenomenal. But there's something about when he comes into a game like this, he does give up runs and hits.
That's one of the biggest conundrums, you know.
99, though, he's throwing the fastball as hard as ever.
And it's been a subject of conversation for a long, long time. A closer coming in a non-save situation. Some guys see that it's the adrenaline, that it's just not the same.
Long way foul. Fielder way down left field corner.
I know everybody has their own opinion on it, but no, my opinion is, and I can only speak for myself, but every game's a big game as a pitcher. When I go out there, if it's 8-0 in my favor or not, if it's tied, if it's down by a run, isn't every game a big game?
No, yeah, but we're not suggesting that.
No, that's not.
He's not trying.
Right,
That's
exactly.
what it happens. Fielder looks at strike 3, and he doesn't strike out very often, so he questions umpire Carlson before walking to the bench. A curveball got him.
Let's take a look at that power curveball. You bet. Nice frame job by Austin Hedges as well. Gets the call there. All right.
Fielder may have a point. So 1 out. Adrian Beltre singled the last 2 times and scored both times. This is a professional hitter. Fifth year in the Ranger uniform for Beltre. Coming in the previous 4 years, hitting at a .315 clip and averaging 29 homers. He's over 400 homers now in his career, 408 to be exact. Maybe 409. No, didn't quite get it all. Upton for the second out.
Got in on him just a little bit.
That'll bring up Rougned Odor. 2 for 3. Single double, and he scored a run after he was intentionally walked and then stole home base for the 4th run in the 7th inning. They broke the 4-4 tie. Still no word from the clubhouse on the injuries to Derek Norris and pitcher Sean Kelly. We did hear that Yonder Alonso left because of a stiffness in his back.
Howdy, Tex.
You'd look good in one of those. I think he'd look very cowboyish.
I had a big Tom Mix hat. You know what a Tom Mix hat is?
Black.
Tom Mix was an actor back in the day.
Yeah, a cowboy.
Yeah. And, I mean, it was the big, it had the big, it was huge.
What was it?
Huge.
Okay.
If you look up Tom Mix hat, cowboy hat, it's a pretty big lid.
He was the first of the superstar Western actors, Tom Mix. And Gene Autry followed, and Roy Rogers.
It was a big Stetson.
Hoot Gibson was in the mix there. Hoot Gibson. One and two. Odor. Swing and a miss, and it goes all the way to the screen. Watch out. Someone's got to cover home, and finally Kimbrel comes in. Was that a total swing and a miss, and then a whiff by catcher Hedges? And safe at first base is Odor. Now, how often do you see that?
Yeah. Let's take a look. Wow. Swing and a miss off the glove, back to the backstop, and everybody's off and running. Oh, it didn't even hit anything. It just hits the sign. I thought it hit off the glove of Hedges, and then it rips the sign. Somebody's going to be getting a bill for that.
Looked like Hedges was expecting the ball to break. He stayed down in his crouch. So strikeout, wild pitch. Odor safe, and Chu winds up at third base. Andrus has the big hit of the game with a game tied at 4 and the bases loaded. He singled to right field, and before the dust cleared, there were 4 runs scoring. The last one on his steal of home. And he hits this well to right, but Kemp is there for the final out. Well, Matt Kemp has a single and a double and a home run. Could it be? He got a triple as his 4th hit in Colorado for the cycle. The way things are going, anything could happen. We'll see what Kemp has in store for us in the bottom of the 9th.
And he hits it out to center. Right center. Blackman's got a long way to go. He's still
going.
Off
the wall.
And it is off the wall. It takes a funny hop. Kemp is rounding second. He's heading to third. And Matt Kemp into third base with a triple and the first cycle in the history of the San Diego Padres.
Boy, coached hard there by Mark Grant. You got him over to third.
Too much time had passed on for that first cycle, and that was exciting to watch.
It took 47 seasons for the Padres finally to get their first cycle, and Kemp is due up third here in the 9th inning as Solardi starts it off. Sean Tolleson, the closer, just like Kimbrel, needs the work, so he comes in. He's been good on 28 of 30 saves. Jesse Agler with that call of a historic moment in Padres history in Colorado.
Well, Todd Hutchison, the head trainer for the Padres, discussing possibly the injuries that have happened tonight to his Padres.
It's not good when the head trainer is shaking his head negatively. Solarte is 1 for 4, a single and scored in the 3rd, but wrapped into a crucial double play in the 7th. The Padres collected 3 hits but no runs. There's a base hit to left field. Solarte's second hit. Padres with 13 hits tonight.
Nice job for Solarte hitting down the baseball out of the hand of Tolleson and taking it the other way. We've talked about that tonight. Foot is down, hands are back, big swing. You never know what's going to happen. Stay tuned. Padres come back and win this one. Find out about all the injury updates on the post-game show with Mike Pomerantz and Mark Swinging. Hey, look who's swinging a hot bat tonight, Dick. Brett Wallace, 3 for 3, 3 singles, a couple of runs scored.
And he replaced Alonso, who doubled, so this position in the order is 4 for 4. Hanser Alberto enters the game. He's at second base for Odor. Here are the 3 knocks by Wallace. No cheapies here, all line shots. So Hanser Alberto replaces Odor at second, and Mike Napoli is at first base for Fielder. And Tolleson the pitcher. Inside, ball 1. Undying fan with a rally cap. Kemp to follow. 7 hits from the first 3 batters in the order for the Padres tonight. 2 for Solardi. Alonso 1, Wallace with 3. Make that 9 hits. Kemp with 3, Wallace with 3, Alonso 1, and Solardi 2. Oh, there's the home run swing at a changeup.
Yeah, fastball slider changeup from Tolleson. There's the changeup we just saw. Hey, if you're going to look for the fastball and it's a power hitting left-handed hitter, you're going to pull the string a little bit. That's exactly what he did.
Almost hit him. Full count. Ball 4. A perfect night for Wallace. A perfect night for the number 2 position in the batting order. So 2 on, no one out for Kemp, who grounded sharply to third the first time, then a 2-run double to make it 3-2 in the third. Then he gave the Padres the lead with a 2-run homer, a 434-foot shot to center, and then he singled to center field his last time. A triple shy of a cycle. Could it be after all these years, 47 seasons, they finally get Kemp to hit for the cycle up in Colorado, and he's a triple shy again tonight, with Justin Upton on deck. Well, the tying run in the on deck circle again. Wallace, by the way, going 3 for 3 tonight, is now hitting a robust .385. Change up for a strike. Much like the situation in Colorado, the triple alley is right center. Hard to get a triple in left center unless there's a funny carom. I'm sure Kemp could care less about whether he hits a triple. He's just trying to keep this ninth inning going. 1-1.
Yeah, maybe drive in a run here or two and then pass it on to Justin Upton.
Good take. 2-1.
Tollefson doesn't throw that hard. He's going to average about 92, 93. So he's got to really spot that fastball. The changeup seems to be the pitch that he likes to throw when his back is up against the wall. When a hitter is looking for the fastball, like this count here. And there it is.
He misses. 3-1.
2-1 changeup.
A pitch away from loading the bases with no one out and bringing the tying run to the plate. Die-hard Padre fans hanging in there, cheering Kemp and the Padres for a big comeback in the ninth. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded. No one out. And their top home run hitter, Justin Upton, with 24, walking to the plate. And it's an angry Upton who had a base hit the last time, but he thought it was going to go through the left side, but Andrus cut it off in the hole and threw him out when Upton was rounding first. Instead of racing up the line, he would have easily have beaten it.
Well, they got the rally caps. They need the rally shillelagh right here for Justin Upton.
4 career grand slams. Wouldn't that be something? Dodgers beat the Giants tonight 2-1. Arizona 5-3 at Colorado, a winner. This is the last of the NL West games. Bases full of Padres.
First pitch changeup.
Well, it's almost predictable, and perhaps the Padre hitters thinking that way too. Solardi, a leadoff single. He's now at third, along Wallace and Kemp with walks. Ooh, that one way out in front of the plate. 1-1. Good block by catcher Wilson. Jed Churko on deck. Battling to the end. That has been the character of this Padre team. Outside, 2-1.
First fastball of the at-bat.
This is the dramatic battle, pitcher and catcher, the duel from 60 feet 6 inches. Upton trying to figure what he's going to get and try to give it a ride.
Bobby Wilson, see where you're set up inside. And that ball leaped middle in. Or away, actually. I'm sorry, away. He wanted to bury it in. Upton got a chance to get extended a little bit. It's worth another look. Watch it, Wilson inside, but that ball on contact, just behind it, working underneath it a little bit.
Strike 3 called. A tough pitch. It was just on the edge. He painted it. Strikeout, first out.
Let's go back to the first pitch. What is Tollefson known for? Runners in scoring position, pulls the string on the changeup. Another changeup to even up at 1-1. That's the first fastball of the at-bat. Advantage Upton. Fouled it back. Paint. Outside corner, knee high.
Yeah, just a perfect pitch.
Yep.
So bases remain loaded. Jerko's the tying run at the plate, and he takes ball 1. He's 0 for 4 tonight. 3 ground outs and a strikeout. 3 slams in his career. Over but low. 22 pitches for Tollefson. He paints again. 2-1. Padre over every pillow here in the 9th. Line drive, base hit. 1 run will score. Bobbled in left field, but no risking on the part of the Padres, and Glenn Hoffman at third holds up the sign. It's 8-5. Bases remain loaded. The tying run's at first. The winning run comes to the plate as Jerko delivers.
Well, keep battling Padre hitters as Tollefson starts them off soft with the curveball, soft with the changeup. First fastball there. Get on top of it. Serious top hand from Jed Jerko.
Ball hit hard to left field, so Glenn Hoffman with the runner at second. Wallace not with great speed. Checks him at third. So Solardi comes in to make it an 8-5 game.
That ball's hit hard. That ball's crushed.
Stubbs in left field, bobbled, but matters not. 8-5. And young Austin Hedges is the hitter.
Oh, wouldn't it be nice, Dick? Wouldn't it be nice, Professor?
They'd be asking a lot of this young kid, 22 years young. He lifts it to right field, sends Chu back. That'll score a run. Here comes Wallace, and going over to third is Kemp. It's 8-6. Sacrifice fly for Hedges. Boy, how big is that steal a home earlier in the game now, huh? By Elvis Andrus. So down to the final out, but the Padres with first and third bring up Corey Spangenberg, who has tripled and doubled his last 2 times up. Jerko is the key run over at first base, just average speed. Strike to Spangenberg, a fastball. This game now 3 hours and 37 minutes old. This is the longest 9-inning game of the year for the Padres. They wouldn't mind it being even longer if they can keep this 9th-inning rally going. 1-1. Spangenberg with a couple of home runs. Big hole in right center field. High fly ball to center. That's a deep part of the yard. DeShields has room, and the ball game comes to an end. Padres battled, but they go down 8-6. The final, Texas the winner. Here's Mike Pomerantz.
Nick, thank you very much. What more can I see on Padres Live, the post-game show? We're going to get you those injury updates on Yonder Alonso, Derek Norris, and Sean Kelly, where the Pods really paying the price for that. We'll hear from the manager in a moment.